this because I got to check it. So hold on, everybody. Okay.
You guys
Okay.
check yourself before you.
I usually do 3 of those.
Yourself.
Okay, hold on.
That way you have the peaks in the audio.
This
See,
this motherfucker's going to be sweating over here when we're done. He usually does 5 jumping jacks and then
Why are you acting like that's going to put me out?
two burpee.
Okay, we're recording.
2
So
burpees.
we're just okay.
Are we?
Yeah.
So you didn't do the intro at all?
No, I'm going
We're
to do
just not doing that anymore.
Oh my god! All right, stop.
Is that what we're doing?
This
Beep,
motherfucker.
boop, boop. Beep boop. Where's the voice? It's better. It's about time.
I love this shit, dude. That shit is dope. Little jazz sounds like a little porn.
Are you not going to tell them where to find us?
Hold on. Welcome to Chubby Boy. God damn it.
Chubby Boy Magic with the little porn music in the background, bro. That shit is...
The porn music and an OnlyFans setup in here.
There you go.
You know, I'm just trying to promote out the content people want.
Hey, what'd you say earlier? Squat and cough?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Squat and fucking call.
Yeah, dude.
Or duck walk?
Yeah. That's even better.
I'm good on duck walking or any of that shit. I'm good. Hello and welcome to Chubby Boy Magic.
I mean, do you want to know an interesting fact?
Sure.
Since I am a veteran,
Yes,
and
thank
for
you for
all
your
our
cervix.
veterans.
Oh, I thought you
listening
were going to
out
say I'm a OnlyFans bitch.
No,
I was going to say, damn, what content you selling, bro?
I'm a little too old, but
No, you're not.
Shit, it's a fetish everywhere, you know?
You know what we're talking about?
Like looking at hearing what some of these people are making, and I'm like, that bitch making $15,000 a month.
Off of feet pics or some
off
shit.
of-
Pics, dude.
yeah.
Just. And I'm over here like, no one wants to see mine.
Yeah,
I play with the buttons a lot, by the way.
On the struggle bus. But no, so every military person out there, somebody has looked at their butthole.
Oh, shit.
Because when you, before you join the military, when you go in it, you go to MEPS, military entrance processing, blah, blah, blah. There was some 80-year-old man sitting there in a chair, and
let me see your butthole.
pretty much, yeah, you walk in, and he's like, bend over and spread him, and then makes you duck walk across the room. Still haven't figured out that one. Like the whole duck walk thing. Because that's the only time you ever do it. And you're like, this feels like...
That's for his own personal pleasure.
Probably.
Well, what's crazy
Probably.
is, though, is it's not the same guy that everyone goes to.
You know, I think it is. But, you know, it's like he's Santa. He's in all the same places at one time. It's just one old man
He's like, come
who's
here.
like,
I got some
you know,
quarters in
what do
my
you do for a
pocket.
living? I look at buttholes.
That's what keeps him alive, man.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. I want that. I want that
keeps him
job. I want
alive.
that
It
job
is.
when I get older.
No, you don't.
Come
No,
on,
you
Oh,
Nate.
my God, you
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah,
No.
I do.
Looking at assholes.
Nate,
Oh my
Nate,
goodness.
I'm coming for you.
don't. Hiram, get ready.
I look at assholes as it is already all day long.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it's true.
Yeah,
hold on,
I'm looking at one right now.
I was like, button work. All right, hold on. Before we get too far, all over. Everybody follow us at Chubby Boy Magic 405. Like, subscribe, follow the pages. Thank you,
Please.
please. And then our guest this week, I've known you since I first started motorcycling, like as an adult.
Wow.
Yeah, like you were probably the
So you've known him 2 weeks.
yeah, just 2 whole weeks. He left a lasting impression on me. You know, he's pretty cool. He's pretty swat. You know,
So
pretty
did
cool.
my uncle.
God damn it. Undrell, would you like to introduce yourself for this?
Yeah, man. Just a motorcycle dude.
Usually I go, who the fuck are you and why the fuck are you here? And I was
Yeah.
like, I'll be a little bit more pleasant.
Man, I'm
Why?
ghosted. I'm here for the
Why?
beer, man.
Yeah,
I'm here
Yeah.
for the bitches and the beer.
bitches
How about
and
that?
You know, he was like, oh, wait, you got free beer?
You know
It's
it.
like, where are the bitches? You're like,
Oh, we're doing video this episode too?
Yeah,
Hey, and if you want your logo shown here,
right there. There you go.
make sure you reach out to Squirrel and for a handsome fee,
Yeah.
we can show you what we're drinking.
Yeah.
But for now, we're drinking squirrel juice.
Oh my God, squirrel juice. You know what? I think I'm gonna start making my own beer and doing it as squirrel juice. We've been
Yep.
talking about.
I don't know that you want to drink squirrel juice.
Hey, probably not. It's a little nutty.
We could ask the sheriff.
We'll phone her in and
Oh
ask her.
shit!
Yeah. She's gonna be like, this episode came out like fire.
Right.
Undrell, okay, so where do people find you? Where do you want them to go to
They
look
don't.
for you?
He finds them.
I mean, also ghosts, so it's true.
Just go to Insta. Go to IG.
Since
You got a couple
TikTok
pages.
is dead now.
TikTok is
Oh, it's
dead.
back
they brought it
alive.
back. They
It's-
brought it
it's
back.
And they brought it back
alive.
like 4 hours ago.
I know.
Yeah,
I
I
know.
was like, that was short-lived.
And everybody was
I feel
crying.
like that was a ploy. Trump's like, I am a savior. I
Yeah.
saved TikTok.
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
for
Yeah, specifically TikTok and apparently CapCut.
And that 22-year-old barista is out there like, thank you.
Thank you. I can
Now
pay
I
my
can go back
bills.
to making 22 grand a
Right.
month showing my butthole.
in my feed. Yeah. It'll be across all socials. Just Slab King Ghost. So SLABKINGGHOST.
You know what? I don't know if I follow that one.
Yeah, I changed it to make it everything across everything.
Because when I first met you, I was like, do you remember when I first met you? When I
Yeah.
first came in and
Yeah.
bought my showy off of you? No, he does.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I remember
were-
everything, man.
Yeah,
Got a memory like an elephant.
that's right. And then
So if I've ever seen your butthole, no.
he's like,
fucking
definitely
with
remember the rings on that one. So when I came
It's like
in,
the Eye of Sauron. You just-
mine might be. I mean, I'm a ginger, so like, ooh, might be a little toasty red. So I came in to Cycle Gear, the local one in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I just got a bike. And you're like, what do you want? And then do you remember what you actually told me? Because I was asking about gear. Because I use this line all the time on people.
What did I say?
You,
It's no telling, man, with me. I'm serious.
I've legitimately probably told 1,000 people this line, but we were sitting there talking. I was like, I want a jacket, but I don't want to look like I'm coming off of Alpine Stars leather crew.
Brother! Did I call you a Power Ranger?
Yeah. And I
Those fucking guys look like Power Rangers,
They
man.
do.
Am I lying, though?
no,
No.
you're right. You're
No.
right.
The 405 rider guys, you're just like, what? Like, are you gonna morph into one person, or like, and be kind of interesting for everybody, or just one random guy out in red, just like super power? And I'm like,
Yeah.
and then, but you go, I don't like wearing that much leather. And I was like, all right. And then 2 seconds later, you're like, I do have leather pants though. And I was like, what? And you're like, they're pretty good. And you pointed at your pants because
Yeah.
they're leather, and I was like, all right, maybe I get some leather pants. Not chaps.
Yeah.
Full on like jean looking pants.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's
That was a riding pants, man. Reacts, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely got some money out of my wallet the first time I came in there, because you were like, oh,
No.
you should look at this, and this, and then this, and then that.
Hey, you know what?
You
real,
weren't wrong.
real shit. I was gonna say that's how I was that successful there, because I would tell people shit and they would think I was trying to sell them shit, and then
No.
they come back and be like, "Damn, you were right." And I'm like, "I told you."
Yeah.
Like this is the same
Yeah.
shit. Look at what I ride, my tires, my brakes, etc. I'm not telling you anything different than I do.
No, and that was the very honest and genuine thing I thought that was like super helpful, because there was a bunch of people in there that were like, this one's okay.
So is he the one that talked you into the dildo attachment for your seat?
Yes, he did. He said, he's like, I don't personally have one, but he's like, I can see it
And
in
you
your
were
eyes.
like, I can take it all.
The only thing that's holding me down that seat is this dildo.
Damn.
Welcome to my brother, motherfucker. He was just like, hold on. Yeah, because I was like, I'm a showy guy, and you're like, all right. And then we talked about showies, and you hooked
Yeah.
me up with a pretty good deal
Yeah.
on one. And then I think the only thing you kind of,
I do love my showy.
oh, dude.
Some of the best helmets, man.
Yeah.
So
Throw
what-
it in the rye.
What gear are you wearing today? Not today, obviously. It's fucking 25 degrees.
Yeah, but I
outside.
know what you mean. Currently,
Yeah.
man, it depends really.
Okay.
If I'm just in the city, just cruising around or
Tank
whatever.
top, assless chaps.
Hell no. I'm not
Flip flop.
some of those guys are like, every time you sit on a bike, you need to be fully geared. Which
All the gear all the time,
If that's
dog.
what yeah.
I mean,
if that's what, if
I
you're one,
do. Yeah.
if you're one of those guys, I get it. But if it's hot as hell, man, and I'm just cruising, oh, excuse me, I got a fucking t-shirt, some jeans. Usually I'm
Yeah.
in riding jeans though, and like some sneakers. But I'm always in a helmet though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the helmet is we've had a couple of buddies go down last year, and 50% of the crew didn't have helmets on when
Yeah.
they went
Oh
down.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like all of them lived, but it was pretty surprising that I was like, dude, when I get on my 50cc scooter, the cooter scooter,
Yeah.
I'm wearing a helmet.
Cooter
Yeah.
scooter. I
Cooter
like
scooter,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
cooter scooter.
Yeah, the cooter scooter to go get coffee from OnQ. The OnQ that's a mile away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Turn
always.
this into a late night podcast.
Yeah,
Cooter
it's-
scooter. Ladies out there, are you ready for the cooter scooter?
Call in to get a ride.
You know what's fucking crazy about that is I wasn't gonna call it that, and the sheriff kept going, "You should call it the cooter scooter."
Damn.
And I was like, "Okay."
Damn.
Yeah, I was like, "All right, fucking, you got real cool, roll all of a sudden."
No, but yeah. So that's what I do. If I'm on the highway taking trips though, then I'm usually geared up.
Yeah.
So I usually ride, like I said, in riding jeans, some type of riding jeans, something really good. I've been hit before, so I've been down, and I had on riding jeans, and man, they saved a lot of. I didn't get all skinned up because the jeans didn't come off.
Right.
I had on a leather cut, obviously, and then it kept everything from. So I had a t-shirt on, so it got my sleeves. But had I had on a long sleeve riding shirt, it would have been great.
Yeah. Now, you were the first on scene when our friend James went down over off the 235.
Oh man.
Yeah. James, you've met a couple times over at T-Bar with his Sportster with the crazy long rake on the fucking forks. But
yeah, man.
yeah, like he was telling me about how bad his rash was, and
it was nasty, man.
Yeah, because he had his helmet on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it ripped his cut off.
Yeah.
Ripped his t-shirt off.
Yeah.
His jeans were pretty cool. He had Vans on at the time. I think it took one of his Vans off.
He said he lost a van.
Yeah. So, and that's why, like I say, if I'm just cruising the city, just like, the streets.
Yeah.
And you're not really doing much to do much, but highway shit.
Yeah.
Man, I'm like I said, I'll have boots on.
Yeah.
Stuff to protect your ankles and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean,
probably some gloves.
Yeah.
Just some whatever you're comfortable for
I've
you.
gotten to where I wear gloves all the time.
Yeah, I don't like
leather. Yeah, I don't like wearing them. And like helmets too. I started out, like half helmet because it was like, I want, hate being all stuffed up, and now I'm like, man, when I don't want to be without and full face. Like, I don't want to catch a locust because there's been a couple times when we've been riding out and you're like, bop.
Or
and you're like, June bug or a
like
locust, and it's like, man, if I would have had half on, like, ooh, I'd been in the ditch because I'd been like, it got me.
No joke.
When I was first riding, I had my 300, and I was leading all those scooter guys around all the time. I'd plan out the rides with Forever and all that shit. And I'd done one from the state capitol, all back roads, like 42 something miles up to fucking Pops, which is obscenely long to get to Pops.
Yeah.
But when you're on like 50cc scooters, you're doing your best. And we're like 6 miles out from Pops, and I had the lens up on my Shoei, and I got a bee in right next to my eye, like right in the corner of my eye socket. And I was like, "Ugh!" And then led everybody there. And then my buddy Jarrett, I was like, "Hey, get your needle nose out because I need you to pull this bee off my eyeball before I take my helmet off." And he's like, "Fucking what?" And I'm like, "I should have had my visor down."
Yeah.
Fucking because it was such a nice summer day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's when they get you.
Yeah.
That's when it comes up and bites you.
Yep.
Or stings the fuck out of you in my case. So yeah, because like when we first started talking about gear, I was like, all the gear all the time kind of stuff. But
what?
We don't know.
what
This
you're laughing
episode may go out with video. We don't know. This don't do that. Spent so much time putting all those CDs up there today.
Oh, you're not in favor of the video?
No, I am.
Oh, because you were like,
and it's just the janky setup. It's like, we're in New York City and it's 9/11 again. Twin Towers.
I like the janky setup, man.
Hey, you could pick out a CD you might want to listen to on your way home. Thank you. There's a whole. I got anything from Train Jaw.
You got a brand new Mastodon.
I don't know what I'm gonna play it on, but yeah.
Man, where this stack of CD comes from is I still buy CDs at concerts, but my truck doesn't have a CD player in it. Shop has a CD player. My office has a CD player, but I always use Spotify.
Yeah.
So, but I still buy. Support your local bands. But
I was gonna say we laugh, but man, a lot of that shit sometimes gets taken off, and then you're like, can't listen to it anymore.
How the fuck am I going to listen to Social Distortion somewhere between Heaven and Hell or Groove Armada, Vertigo?
Spotify.
Well, when they pulled off.
Right.
I've got copies of it. Yeah. But yeah, because we started talking about the gear and all that stuff, and there was a couple guys that now still work at the local store, and they're like, "Oh, you don't need to really buy anything that expensive." And I'm like, dude, it's between you and the pavement, man.
I like that React shirt. I've got a riding shirt, React's riding shirt. It's the summer weight one, so it's the mesh.
I've got a couple.
But it's got the armor. It's got pads.
You got it because I was wearing it and rocking it, and I was like, you should check this motherfucker out.
Yeah, but this one looks better. You got a different one. No, you got a different one.
It's the same one.
So he bought one because of you?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He's been sipping the squirrel juice.
Thank you, Undrell. gets it. But no, we got like I went over there because I have a buddy that works for Revzilla, and he was like, "You should go check this jacket out." And I was like, "All right, I'm gonna go check it out," and fucking love it. And then I was like, "You should check this one out." And then he went and got I think you do have another Reacts one that doesn't exactly match mine.
Yes, I do.
He's lying. Don't lie to you. But yeah,
Okay, Power Ranger.
no, so
Oh shit.
after we talked about that, I can't remember if it was Cycle Gear, Revzilla. They were running a special on jackets and stuff, and I bought this like full-on old man leather jacket. It's cleaning out the closet today. I've had it. I bought it new because I was like, "Oh, it's a good deal." I've never worn it. It's the worst looking jacket I've ever owned.
Is that the one that was hanging outside for like a year?
No. It looks just like that one.
Hey, leather is good in the this type of cold.
Yeah.
Leather's the best, man.
That's why I
Yeah.
haven't got rid of it.
the best.
Yeah, because I'll layer up and put it on like whenever I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna see if I'm gonna wear it," but
You
I'm
don't
like,
feel shit. Yeah.
yeah. So you, so I met you there. But how long have you been riding for?
Oh man, a long time.
Can I guess how old you are?
Guess
42.
44.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good, man.
Yeah.
Good.
I wouldn't have gone that old. I would have been like 39.
I know, man.
I think he told me one time when I was drunk, and I was like,
Hey.
it was lower than 50.
You might have never heard this, but black don't crack, man.
I've heard the statement before.
I mean, if something was like, once you go black, you don't go back. I don't know. You know, sweet or what was it Tupac said? Darker the berry, sweet as juice.
Oh, that's what you. I was gonna
Where are
say.
you going?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You saw how I was looking like, oh, what the
I was
fuck?
like, we both look. I went to school on the east side, homie. I was like, what did you say? So
sorry.
yeah, no, you're not kicking the camera. It's okay. So God damn it, Mom. So you've been riding. How old? Were
Oh
you?
yeah. So, man, I started out 4-wheelers and 3-wheelers. Man.
Okay.
And then from there, I did some dirt bikes and shit. Well,
Yeah,
some
nice.
dirt bikes and scooters. I've been on everything.
Okay.
But
Mopeds.
I would.
What's
yeah.
her name?
Her name was Becky, man.
Becky. Is her name actually Becky?
Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
He's like, my wife might listen to this. I don't know.
No, this was way before her though. So no, I'm
Yeah.
teasing.
It's all good.
We all have one.
Yeah.
We all have one.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, we all have one.
Our favorite word, allegedly.
Allegedly.
They're so fun to ride.
Yeah.
No, but I got my first, I consider real bike, probably 27, 28.
Okay.
Before that, man, I had, it's funny, something similar to that. Not that old, but like
Yeah.
it was like a 78 Yamaha.
Okay.
Maybe like a GS or something.
Yeah. One of those little guys. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
But yeah, so forever. That's the answer to the question.
Yeah. So when I met you, I was on the Honda,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Yeah, I'm a metric guy. I like reliability and easeability of parts and all that shit."
Mhm.
And you were like, "I have a Harley or two," and I was like, oh, "Okay." And then I remember you were like, "You should get a Harley," and I was like, "I'll look into it." And I refused to pay the Harley tax on anything, but so what?
He's like gonna die on this hill because everybody's like, you should get a Harley. He's like, no.
yeah,
You have a Harley?
No.
yeah, he has two.
I'm gay
He
through and
does?
through.
Which
I have two.
Which Harleys do you have?
I've got a 99 1200 Sportster.
Gary.
And
Gotta have a Sportster,
hold on.
man.
gotta have a Sportster. Sportster's fun. And then I have a 09 Softail.
super
Oh,
gay.
sweet. Love
Yeah.
it. Love it.
Yeah.
What do you have?
Currently, man, I'm on a 08 Road King.
Okay.
Before that, the last bike was a 06 Dyna Lowrider.
Nice.
That's what I couldn't
Nice.
remember if it was a Dyna or a
Yeah,
Sportster.
that's why, because that was the last year of the real Dyna.
So my Softail is a deluxe.
Mhm.
So, and I've got hard bags. So it looks like
Road King.
a Road King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I actually had a Road Glide fairing on mine. I just took it off to
Yeah.
go back to the Road King.
Why did you take it off?
Just I wanted it to go back to the classic look.
Okay.
Pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the radio, the speakers in it,
Everything.
and everything like that. And then I just got tired of it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yep.
I'd like to feel same thing on the Dyna. I got that Dyna, that lowrider, because I like the wind.
Yeah.
I like to keep it off my
Mhm.
chest, but I like to be in the wind
Yeah.
versus just feel like I'm sitting in a 2-seater.
This is true.
Sometimes it's nice though to
It is when it's really windy.
when it's
Yeah,
really
when
windy,
it's really fucking
or
windy.
if it's raining, or if there's a lot of like locust season,
Yeah.
June bug season.
Well, if I'm going
Gnats.
on, I'll say this: if I'm going on a long trip, I'll pop a windshield on.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
if I'm just rolling around, but when it's windy, I remember when I first took that damn fairing off, and I got on the highway, and I was like, shh, and I was like, what the fuck? I forgot about this.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna reenact a conversation me and him had when I got on the Sportster.
Yeah.
And I was on the highway, and I hadn't been on, like, it had been a lift queen for about 7 years because I was fucking with it, and finally got tired.
He could not figure out how to get the clutch to work. He was like, "Oh, you pull in on it?" I'm kidding.
No. So
Love
got
you.
tired of it, took it down, had it fixed. Anyway, so we get on the highway, and he's in front, and I'm back there, and again, I've been riding on my Softail with the windshield, and like. And he's like, "You okay, buddy?" And I'm like, "I'm back here fighting for my fucking life."
Yeah,
So
I'm on my FJ.
it's like I'm like not used to that at all. And
I'm on the FJ, and I've got a 17-inch windscreen. It doesn't have a big full fairing on it, but it's got
Big enough.
Yeah. And the weird thing about that windscreen is like if you get a tailwind or a headwind to you, it will kind of pull you back and forth. I'm like, what the first time it happened, I'm like, Jesus fuck. So we're riding into the wind, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on over here? And then he's back there just so we're talking through the Sennas, and all I can hear is
Yeah.
I don't like the and I'm like, are you gonna make it? And he's like, I'm just gonna do like 70. We'll just cruise back here. We're like 2 or 3 other guys going down Fort Thunder, and so we're on the way down there. Yeah, and so so like he's just like, I'm gonna cruise. Well, they all take off hauling ass, and I'm like, okay, and then because I know where I'm going, and then he hauls ass after them. I was like, at the end of it, I was like, hold on for your dear life.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Which the Softail or the sports?
Softail.
Okay,
You got white walls on that?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. See, that's what
See,
I want to go back to the
It's
class.
got white walls on it.
And to me, the whole reason I got that is like,
He loves Judas Priest and all the other things.
no, I know, but like growing up, like the old like FLH, the '60s,
Yep.
like to me with the pogo seat, that was the Harley I fell in love with.
Yep. Me too.
And
Me too.
so when I was looking, because I was actually looking at an Ultra that I was going to get, and went up and like kind of looking at it, throw my leg over it. I'm like, yeah, it didn't feel right.
Right.
And then like they had this one that they had just like literally brought in, and I was like, what's the story on that one? And it already had the hard bags on it and everything, and I was like, dig the hard bags. I hate leather bags. I mean, nothing against them. It's just a personal thing,
Right.
And
Ghost is a big fan of leather bags.
I get it. There's
He's
a
like,
lot. There's a
will
lot.
fight on that.
I mean,
With
there's
the
a lot
tassels and shit.
yeah. There's
Not
a,
me, man.
and but I just like the look of the hard bags and the old hard bags,
Yeah.
And so that one already had it. Got on it. I was like, yeah, that's
So when you bought that, you didn't have the hard bags you have on there now, right?
no, it did.
Oh, it did, but they weren't the right. They weren't color matched.
They were shittily colored matched.
Okay,
So
when I first
it was completely different, and so I had them painted to match
Got you.
and better because it was they didn't look in the sun. You're like, ooh, that's not
Got you.
that's purple, not red,
Right.
and
it was a little weird because like when I first met him, I was like trying to learn all the Harley stuff, and then like. So I've learned certain telltale things. I'm like, I can tell a Dyna by the battery box, FXRs by the triangle. But you know what's really fucked up? The touring bikes, the triangles. I'm like, Bagger FXR. I'm trying to figure it all out. So then I kept going like, what bike do you have? Because like we started hanging out and everyone would ask what Harley has. And I'm like, a Road King? Because we had another guy we knew at the same time that had a similar paint scheme. I was like, I think he's got a Road King, man. I don't fucking know. Then everybody was like, that's a Softail. I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like,
yeah.
do you know what my bike is? And they're like, piece of shit because it's metric. Yeah.
Man, I love metric bikes too.
Yeah.
What the misconception though is that if you're a Harley dude, you talk shit about other bikes, and it's like I don't know who you guys are running into, but that's a bunch of shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude.
I like Harley for the same reason he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
but-
nostalgia thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
But I'm also a fan of cafe racers.
Yes.
And I love Honda Shadows because you can bobber them the fuck out, and you can fucking rake them out.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know
tell
if we're
you-
going with rake, we're going with clip-ons. I was like, I don't know where we're going. But
I
we're
like-
gonna
You
get
know, I'm
there.
talking about chopper. You can chop.
You can make
chop
them look
up.
really fucking good that way.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's funny because with everybody's like, oh, you got to get a Harley. You got to get a Harley. And I'm like,
You didn't see it yet. You didn't
So
see the garage.
he picked up
1996 Kawasaki
KZP.
KZ1000 police bike. That's a former Oklahoma City police bike.
Oh, that's
And-
dope as fuck.
Oh,
yes.
KZ1000?
Yeah,
Those
no.
motherfuckers rip.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
if not me on it, but
and I'm telling, I'm like, that's better
That's-
than a Harley.
yeah.
And what's funny is,
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say better, but
hey, hold on.
I had to stay true to the Harley.
hey,
you know,
hey,
I
hey,
get it.
it's more reliable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so-
don't know, more reliable than mine, but yeah.
Well, and that's
I mean,
well, and that's because I grew up as a mechanic building race motors and shit like that. So like, when I go on a trip, I carry tools with me because my shit's always been clapped out. So like when we went to K River last year for the Fast Life camp out, I took metric tools, SAE, all my normal shit, and like I was like, man, I talk all this shit to all these guys about how their shit is Harley and it's gonna break down, and I'm gonna be the one on the side of the road, and they're gonna be like, I don't know how to read a 10mm wrench. Not a single fucking tool touched my bike the entire weekend, but my tools were out a lot that weekend. Yeah. And then when we went down and did another run to K River later that year, last year, I unfortunately did have to touch my bike twice, but it wasn't that bad because it was a battery jump and then headlight. What the fuck was it?
Every now and then you gotta do a little shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Well, and it's
I mean, that's just normal. It's
yeah,
like,
as long as it's not, you gotta fucking rebuild the motor on the side of the road.
Yeah.
I know some
See,
guys
and
have done it. Yeah.
See, and I like old bikes. I like old cars. I like
Me too.
Yeah.
Grew up with shit boxes, and I have a special place in my heart for shit boxes. And
Yeah.
so, but I like the way the old Harleys look. Old Yamahas, the old Hondas.
Yeah.
the early
Like-
80s, 70s Hondas.
Like I said, the cafe racers,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I love a
Oh, yeah,
CB
yeah.
500.
yeah.
Dude. So our buddy Bishop has bought a Goldwing, an 84 Goldwing Aspenonche, whatever the fuck
Something.
it is. It is a cafe racer Goldwing.
Oh,
And
really? I
was-
gotta see that because I hate gold wings.
I was not. I love Goldwings because of how goofy they are.
Yeah.
But
I just don't like when they like fucking Starship Enterprise.
this is like the
Starship.
older ones. I'm like, they look fucking ridiculous. But I'm like,
Yeah.
it's got CB radio and vents and shit on it. So I want one just because you can pick them up
Just
cheap.
yeah.
But then like he bought this one. It's nicknamed Oliver because it's stitched onto the seat, and it's this root beer brown paint. And I'm
Damn.
like, don't change a thing about this bike because it looks super fucking good. But Cafe Racer Goldwings. That was actually when I got this bike. I was gonna cafe it all out because my dad had one when he was a kid. So he bobbed his tail, his rear, because it's all one unibody kind of thing.
Right.
So I was gonna go through and do all that same shit. And he's like, no, just leave it alone. You already got one.
Yeah, man.
Like
Leave that
this-
classic.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
the only thing I did was I changed the front fender on it to be this chrome fender, but everything else I still have the original fender. It's out in my shed.
Yeah, man.
And
Oh,
then
Now the chrome fender with the chrome tank.
yeah.
That
and it's all pitted now because it's like I wrote it when I was 12, and obviously same weight as I am at 12 as I am today. But yeah, like. And then when I was like, oh, I'm going to put it back together again, make it a cafe racer, I'm like, fuck, no, I'm going to buy something else that will actually go fast. But yeah, so working at Cycle Gear, that was probably pretty cool having a lot of bikes and stuff come in.
Yeah, man, that was pretty cool. Helping people with a lot of different stuff, different. You got to see how much people didn't know about bikes.
Yeah,
and
I bet you did.
I mean, and I don't mean it from a perspective of like a mechanic. I just mean just in general.
Yeah.
You're like, man, you can't ride that bike. Like, here, let me give you a story, really quick.
Yeah.
A guy called and said that his bike wouldn't go, which we're not a shop at the
yeah.
when I was working there. We're not a shop.
They're not a
Right,
shop
right.
still.
But he said his
the
bike
tire machine's always broke.
his bike wouldn't go, or it would go slow and it would rev real loud.
Uh-huh.
And I told him, man, I'm sorry, I could tell you some shops to take it to.
Yeah.
And he was like, can I stop by and pick up some stuff anyway? I don't have money for a shop. And I'm like, we're not a shop, but I'll take a look.
Yeah.
He brings it up there. I go outside. His fucking rear sprocket is like a nickel.
What?
It's just spinning. And I'm like, that's why your bike isn't. And
He's like, I just hear all this noise just beating the shit out of itself.
he was gonna sell that bike for like $500. It was a sport bike though. It was like
Okay.
a R1.
Oh shit! You're
Yeah.
like, oh,
Damn.
by the way, I'm in a market
Yeah,
for
I'm
an
like,
R1.
I'll give you
I'll give you $500. I'll make my money out of this.
But I was like, nah, man. I was like, dude, you about to sell this bike? You can go get a sprocket off the shelf for like $60.
Yeah,
and you'll
like,
be good.
you
You
can
put
get-
it on right here.
Yeah, you can we'll let you demo the fucking
Yeah.
stand. Go do it in the flat part of the garage, the parking lot. But
stuff like that, man, it's just like, damn, no bike maintenance or anything.
yeah, so that was my dad and I were talking about that one time. He's like, we were working on some brakes, and he was like, you need to do this, and this. And I was like, all right. And he's like, so I had listened to him my entire life, and he's like, yeah, just go do it. And I'm like, okay, put it all together. And he's like, now there's a spec for this and that and that, and that's how you'll figure out how it works. And I was like, okay. So I go through, and he's like, now that you know how that all works, you can just do it on the side of the road. You don't have to have your torque wrench and all that stuff. So when you're like, how is that tight enough on your suspension? I'm like, that feels about 100 foot-pounds, because I know what 100 foot-pound feels like, and it's
Right.
pretty close. But you have to know all that shit, because on the side of because it's like, oh man, like, don't worry about that brake noise. That'd be fine. Don't worry about it, honey.
Yeah.
It'll be home.
Yeah.
We'll get home in a little bit. And then when I started on the motorcycles, I'm like, it's a different world, because you got 2 tires, 1 chain, hopefully a chain, 2 sprockets. So when they're all fucked off, you're like, you need. So I used to be real religious, but I'm like, I'm checking all my shit before I leave the house.
Yep. That's the best thing you can do, man,
Yeah.
especially before you take a trip.
Yeah, because that's a most annoying thing is you'll get 15, 20 miles out of the city, and all of a sudden you're like, fuck, my chain is way too loose. It's coming off of shit.
All that slack, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll have a loose chain as opposed to too tight of a chain, but
Yeah. Well, also too, that's part of the reason why people hate Harleys, because it's not Harley, it's user error.
Yeah.
You're coming from a sport bike where you have one fluid for all 3 holes.
yeah.
And you can beat the shit and neglect the shit out of a sport bike, and it'll still run.
Yeah.
If you do that to your Harley, that shit ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
It's gonna be mad. It's gonna not talk to you for a little bit. No,
Well, like, my 99, it's like today with it being 20 degrees out, it'd be like, no,
yeah.
not happening.
That's why I like fuel injection at least.
It gets below, because mine's carb, so it gets below
Need
70.
another beer?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, well, let's start it up.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like,
No.
no,
Yeah, that's why
I don't think so.
I'm definitely
I do like the fuel injection.
no,
don't get me
I
wrong.
gotta have fuel injected.
But
or
I do love the way that carb sounds when you
I'm
get it
with you.
going.
I'm
and
with
it's like
you.
that is the bloop, bloop, bloop,
no,
bloop,
my daily driver has to be fuel injected.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But anything else, I'm good. Like, man, of course I'll take a shovel head, a pan head.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I used to have a what do you call this fucking bike? It was
Ironhead?
Suzuki.
No.
Okay.
It was a Suzuki Bandit.
Oh,
Okay.
you had a Bandit.
Carbed.
600.
No, man. That's too small. 1200.
We're
Too small, man. I gotta have some power, man.
both big boys.
Yeah.
We're all
I mean,
three big boys.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's Chubby Boy Magic, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, in the middle of the fucking winter, I had guys that had problems with their bikes that were fuel injected. And I didn't even have to get on my bike and prime it. I could just reach and start it.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it crank right up. And they be like, this is a fucking car bike. How's this shit just crank right up like it's, they thought it was fuel injected.
Right.
And it's
right.
just, I just rode it all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
kept them clean.
Yeah.
Well, and that, like, I grew up, my first car.
Oh man, let me cover this logo up. We don't do shit for free on
they paying.
Chubby
They
Boy
paying.
Magic.
We were talking to somebody about sponsoring us and all that stuff. And I was like, if you just covered the fucking beer bill.
Man, have you talked to Vanessa House?
No, they're not in business anymore. They closed down. Did you not hear
What?
about that? All right. Hold on.
No. Oh shit.
Hold on. Where's this? Yeah. So,
It's rough times for everybody.
yeah, they just real short. Where they were at on 8th Street down on Broadway, they were underneath some construction from the city forever.
Yeah, damn.
And then they
that really hurt them because of the
the
road was all for the
sidewalk and all
the
that
sidewalk
shit. Yeah.
and the car, the
Parking.
rails car,
The
thing.
streetcar
streetcar.
was not that problem. I worked on that one. No, you're right.
I
no,
mean, no, it wasn't. It was
Yeah.
a combination of
Yeah, so
all
they
of it
got-
together.
So the streetcar was fucking them up, but they had enough people coming around the other way, and then they had all this shit ripped out in front of their building for like, I don't know, like 6-8 months, maybe a year or something like that.
So I heard him.
It was
Yeah.
going to be over a year.
And-
They had initially told him it was 6 months, and then it
Yeah.
was going to be like over a year, and basically the city told them like, sorry,
That's capital improvement shit, and like you just have to
Damn.
weather through it. So
R.I.P. Vanessa House.
Yeah,
man.
'cause
I love their beer.
yeah, dude,
Yeah.
super 401k was
Yeah.
a
Oh yeah, that was
fucking-
mine.
Yeah.
Fun fact:
Okay.
they sponsored a podcast I was a part of.
Oh really?
Me, Toby, and Justin.
Oh cool.
Yeah, and so we had beer from them, so that's why I even suggested them. So damn, shout out to Vanessa House. What about Anthem? They're still around.
Anthem's still around. Broke Brewing's around the corner. We've got a bunch of breweries, but I was like,
you gotta
Stone Cloud, man, that
Stone
fucking
Cloud?
neon sunshine.
Yeah, they sponsor.
Stone
a
Cloud.
buddy's
Look at us
bike
doing
shop.
fucking ads.
Stone Cloud.
He
We
was like,
said-
we don't do shit for free.
we
But
said pay and
next
we're-
4 months.
But they're local. I'm good for the
Yeah.
local.
Well,
people,
and I mean,
man.
and that's
And
my
Stone Cloud Light. That's
No,
good.
don't
It
do
fucks.
shit light, man.
I mean, hey, you know,
You
some
gotta
of
drink
it-
a light
some-
beer,
some
man.
of
Go
us-
ahead and get a
Some of
Capri
us are
Sun.
trying to be not so chubby anymore.
Oh,
What
what?
the fuck you talking about?
So what you gonna be, Skinny Boy Magic?
No, he's not
mean-
gonna.
Oh,
be
he's
here.
out the group. I'm replacing him.
Yeah, you're replacing him. I was like, I know who my backup is now. Whenever I'm
Chubby boy. Chubby.
hey, it's the diabetes.
He's on Ozempic now, guys.
trying to spit all this fucking beer out my fucking nose. No, like that was. I was like, man, we need to find a sponsor for beer. And I was like, but then I was like, man, like we played Fuck Mary Kill with guests at the end of last year. I was like, they may not like that, but fuck them.
Right.
Yeah.
I fucked you up with that.
You did. Just imagine if I was like, just play Fuck Mary Kill with some casual people, you know, right now. Where you're like,
Yeah.
I'm not prepared for this in my
Yeah.
brain.
Right.
No, here's how I did. I was like, we were talking, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna ask you something. Like, you got to answer just off the top of your head. Don't even.
He didn't
think
even
about
tell
it.
me that. He's
I didn't
lying.
even. No, I was like, what? I was like, out of all of our guests last year, I was like, fuck, Mary Kill, and I was like, just answer. Don't even.
Out of the
think about it.
guest?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And he was
Yeah.
like, what? And I'm like, no, answer. He's just like,
I was like, I guess Clint is who I would fuck because he's a good looking dude. He's also, I'm like, if I fuck him enough, shout out to Clint. He's like, God damn it. Why is it coming up again? He does great pinstriping, like just solid pinstriping. So I don't even remember who I was. I definitely remember Kill
see,
Burrito.
yeah.
Talking
You
about
should have fucked Nate because I feel like
Damn.
he's nasty
he's
enough.
nasty
Yeah.
Nate.
I'm thinking about doing some
Degenerate.
pinstriping on my Road King, man. I may need to reach out to him.
Oh, we got the guy for you.
Yeah.
Clint. Actually, it was funny. So this little guy right here, the
Oh,
one
yeah,
in black,
that's-
he put up a picture that he's doing. He does fine art stuff too. So this is his. That's his, and then that pinstriping, and he did both of our helmets. He put up a picture. He's working on this Porsche for this client.
Oh shit, I love Porsches,
Oh,
man.
Dude.
Oh,
That's
I knew
that
this
is my
that is
ultimate
ultimate
guilty
goal.
pleasure
yeah,
right there.
Yeah.
dude.
I'm gonna get a Cayman.
We're gonna talk about all the. Porsche
I kicked
stuff.
myself in the ass for when we were coming back from Mexico, and we did not go get that 914.
Yeah, we.
Ooh.
There
Oh.
was a 914. We were coming back from Mexico, and
Was it
dude,
when we're coming back?
yeah,
Is that when you found it?
yeah.
Oh yeah,
'Cause I was sitting there-
he looks at me. First off, I'm self-employed, so he goes, "Hey, we're driving to Alamogordo, which is 9.5 hours."
Sorry, that was.
I was like, "God damn it!"
I didn't even do that one on purpose.
So we're driving to Alamogordo. We're gonna go say it to my buddy for his birthday, and I was like, "Got it." And then so that's 9 hours down, 9 hours back. He's like, "We're doing it in 2 days." I was like, "Fucking okay." We make it an hour outside of Alamogordo, and he goes, "Do you have enough time to go to Houston?" And I was like, "Fucking yeah." What? For what?
For a race car.
Yeah.
It was a 914 guy and 2 engines, 4 seats. Like,
Damn.
uh,
What happened? What stopped you?
I did not have the trailer with us, so we were gonna have to come all the way back because it needed a trailer. Like we were gonna have
Man,
to.
I would have stopped at U-Haul or something.
I
I'm
know.
not passing up that.
I should have now because it was like $3,500 for everything.
So
and
I
it was 2 Boxster engines.
Yeah.
So
What?
It
yeah.
was so the 914 is the inline 4
Mhm.
in that year. So you
Yeah.
had one inline 4 that was built SCCA book log and everything.
Damn.
Because he's reading off to me because I'm like, well, how fucking good is this deal? Because the good deal's like the clap. It's only good when you're getting it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that one was built, and then the inline 6 would made it a true 914 6. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
He's like, it's $3,500, man. No title though. No title.
I was like,
it's a
I
race car.
have $3,500.
Right. Let's
And
go.
I was thinking about that the other night because I was like, God damn it! I should.
We still don't know where it went.
should've
It might
bought
be for
that.
sale. And
Oh,
it was
it's-
weird.
Oh, if it was for sale now, it's going to be.
I was
7.
gonna say it's gone, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we messaged when we
it
got
is-
back
It
home.
has been gone for a while because I look for it every now and then, thinking it's
Yeah.
going to show back up. But
Well, that's the cool thing about. self-employment is everybody's always like, hey, can you go do this thing for me? And every so often it comes up as a really cool thing. And most of the time it's like, I don't want to fucking do that, even if you're paying me.
Hey, can you go pick up my Instacart? Go pick up my Walmart shit.
Hey, buddy, can you help me move?
Fuck. No, I don't own a truck anymore. But I was like, for about a 2-week period after we got back, I was like, truck and trailer, like my trailer's set
I know.
up.
We should have gone and got that.
My trailers, because I have a motorcycle trailer and I have a car trailer, so they're basically set up that like if something happens, I can be gone in 15 minutes, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm clothed, it's 15 minutes. If I'm not clothed, it's about 25. But I was like, dude, I'll message him and find out, and he kind of got some responses back, and then
Kind of not.
Yeah, and I was like, man, it had no title. It was a weird fucking deal, and it was like a mess of parts. Like,
I don't even care. I would have taken it.
No, it was just mostly like I'm gonna have to have my full car hauling trailer because I can't do it with a U-Haul because like we'll leave half the shit down there and just assume we're gonna get it back later. Yeah, you know how those deals go. Where you're like, if you're not getting it today, you're not getting it at all. So
yeah.
But yeah, no, the KZP is really cool. I really like that. That was my answer to my Joey Barella. Yeah, the Barella brothers came down from Colorado, and one of them has a super mint FXRP, and I was like, man, I really want an FXRP. Kind of really want one, and then I was like, hi, but they're really expensive. So this KZ came up on Marketplace, and I was messaging him, and he was like, well, you're getting it or I'm getting it. I'm like, fuck you, you're not a metric dude. I'm getting it.
You're not a metric dude.
Yeah, so I was like, I gotta go pull the money out of my account.
God, for that price though,
Yeah.
he was all hemming and hawing, and I'm like, it runs, and it looks good, you know, from the pictures, and I'm like,
it's Jap crap too. It was like that would make it run.
And he's like, I don't have a title. I'm like, who gives a fuck?
Exactly. That would have been my thought.
That bike.
Apparently, he gives a fuck.
Yeah.
That bike allegedly has a plate from 2009. It has full insurance on it right now, but it has no title. It has a bill of sale.
Man,
I've been
You
on
got
that.
insurance. That's the important thing.
Yeah,
right.
I've probably put 3,000-4,000 miles on that bike since I bought it, and I'm just like, you know, how long can I go without getting a plate for this motherfucker?
I mean, a little birdie says you just switch some plates over. And then
yeah, that's technically a felony, allegedly.
it's,
So anyway,
allegedly.
only a felony if you get caught.
There you go, man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
That's the chubby boy way, man.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
yeah.
Come on, squirrel. Get with the fucking program, man.
Well, you
At the
know, I
chu-
know my felonies and shit when I was in
The
a
chubby
teenage-
boy way is do the damn thing and worry about it later.
Yeah.
Look around, make sure there ain't no cameras.
He doesn't like
watching you-
motorcycles, man.
Watching you take that shit off the wall.
He's just acting like he doesn't like motorcycles, man.
You know, it's funny. Like when I was a teenager, I used to do all kinds of debaucherous shit on the east side, and then I got older, and I was like, I met the sheriff, and I was like, I'm gonna quit partying and doing crazy shit. And when I started riding again, I was like, well,
Here we go.
Here we go. You get to see a side of me that you heard about, but you had not seen before. I'm a little bit more cautious about now.
That's why every time you say, I heard about you, I'm like, oh, let's see what this is. Let's see what that is.
Let's see what's going on with that. So anyway, so part of the reason why I wanted you to come on was not only talk about motorcycles and cars and all that shit, but you also do like videography and you do photography.
Yep.
And we do we're learning videography, but so how did you get started in all that?
Oh, man, that's a long one, too.
We're only 42 minutes into a 2-hour podcast.
I mean, when I say long one, I mean it started a long time ago. I was always into art. Like I can draw and shit too.
Okay.
I used to do graphic design too. But
are you? Wait, hold on. Sorry. Are you from Oklahoma City originally?
I'm from Arkansas actually.
Oh, what part of Arkansas?
Little Rock.
Okay.
Little Rock, Jacksonville.
LA.
area.
All right.
Yeah. And so,
hey, if you didn't know that, that's a cool little tool in your pocket.
yeah, no, trust me. Yeah, so I was always into art.
What side of Little Rock?
It's
North.
not Memphis.
I mean, it's
He knows what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
it ain't far off.
Yeah.
So
That's like being in West Memphis.
Yeah.
pretty
There
much.
ain't no reason for anybody to stop in West Memphis.
Yeah,
We did.
It depends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depends on what's going on
Yeah,
today.
what's going on? What's going down with the party?
Yeah, so I was always into art and shit. And in high school, man, a teacher, a photo and ceramics teacher, had a T-shirt on that I thought was pretty dope. And I asked him about it, and he said he made it. And I was like, like, how did you make the shirt?
Yeah, because that's not a concept for most
Yeah.
people. We're like, yeah.
And so he tells me about some screen printing shit.
Okay.
So he was like, yeah, stop by the class. I'll show you, blah, blah, blah. So one day I stopped in. He showed me the process in some shirts that people had made. And while he was showing me that, I kept seeing a red light go on and off like in the corner of my eye. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, why does that light keep going? And he's
Protection.
like, he's like, it kept saying in use, you know?
Yeah.
And he said, that's the dark room. You know, when that light's on, you can't open the door.
Screens.
Yeah.
Or burn it.
No, this is for photography.
Oh, for
They were
photography.
developing
This is
film
the
over
part
there.
I didn't get to do.
Yeah.
I saw the light. I didn't ever get to go into that room where the light was.
And he was like, you can't go on that door because it'll expose the photo and blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
And I go, wait, they're developing pictures, like actual. And he was like, yeah. And I
Yeah,
was like,
that's how that fucking works.
I was like, I want to check this shit out. And he was like, I thought you were for t-shirts. I'm like, I'm more interested in this now.
Like, I'm also interested in t-shirts. We'll get to that one.
Yeah, that's basically what I said.
Yeah.
But after, so he said, I'll tell you what, go buy disposable camera, take some pictures, and then I'll show you how it works. So I went, bought camera, took some pictures, came back. And man, after I developed those in black, they were black and white.
Right.
And I shot them in the snow. It was a winter.
Oh.
And man, when I developed those and saw those and took them home, it was over.
Dude,
it was over.
People
man.
don't understand when I fell in love with photography because I've said
Back in the 1890s.
I mean, I can do that process.
Yeah, you can.
Using the big wet plate 4x5
Oh yeah,
Fucking legitimately
no,
can.
no, I can't. I
with the
can't.
powder.
Yeah.
Do you have, wait, hold on. Have you ever actually used powder for flash?
No, we have lights. No, you can't.
I mean, motherfucker
you know how
built
hard-
18 cameras.
You know how hard it is to get black powder. And,
No, you go to Academy.
It's not so bad. Not so hard to get black powder.
But no,
We know a guy.
I
Yeah.
used to draw and paint. Well, same thing when I got in the darkroom, and it was actually after I had like developed my negatives, and so you're doing the enlarger and do it on the paper, and like watching that image come up in the developer.
Man, it's nothing like
I was
it.
hooked 35, 40 years ago,
Yeah.
and it was like there was nothing else like it. Watching it come up, and you're like,
Look at these titties.
I mean, it was magic,
You're
and
like,
even
look at that duck walk.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, so I'm like, I love it and got hooked.
Yeah, me
and-
too.
But the same thing, like the screen printing.
Yeah.
When I first started doing that, I was like, you do what? So when I was first started doing screen printings, we were burning screens. I was cutting it out on paper, and you put the paper down and you put the screen over, and the paper, when you put the ink, you drag it across.
Yeah.
Well, the paper, it's like when you coat a screen, so
Yeah,
you would
yeah.
have to. It was doing like paper cutouts and stuff, and it was a fucking nightmare because then you get to the point where you can do screens. And
I
you're
learned
like,
that.
that's way easier.
Yeah, I learned that later, which I like that. That's fun because, I mean, it's still creating.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what it is. I'm
Yeah.
just an artist at heart, but the photography is like my number one love,
Yeah.
man. I mean, just to...
I am too, and it's helped me. Being an artist has helped my photography because
Yeah.
I look at it like an artist. So
Yep.
like without even thinking about it, how I compose my photos and stuff like that. It's all.
I was just thinking about that Chappelle Show skit where he's married to Oprah. He's painting the stick figure in the art class. It's the two big circles and the little stick. I was like, I'm not artistic. I just was somehow gifted with being able to get some of the shots I wanted. Because every time I put pencil to paper or anything like that, I'm like, fuck, this is terrible, and I don't want to do it. But like my wife, she'll be like, hey, get this picture of this canyon. I'm like, all right, like, I'll go through and kind of stage it out a little bit. But like, I did not get gifted with, because like his art's actually really good. Like your art's really good, and I'm like, everyone's like, can you paint? I'm like, with my fucking toes, I look like I'm Stevie Wonder over here, man. Like I can't do shit.
Man, you know what? I didn't used to believe this until an art teacher showed me this, but anybody can learn how to draw
Yep.
Yeah.
or paint.
Yep.
Mhm.
And it's really the people that are naturally gifted,
Mhm.
they can see the shapes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have to be taught how to see shapes in a figure.
Yeah.
And once you break down the shapes, you're like, oh shit, I can draw this.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
easy as hell.
but
Like-
so
But
drawing
when you
a
don't,
drawing a head, it's like a circle. And
Yeah.
a little bit of circle, and you just like doing the lines.
Yeah.
You divide it here, so it's in thirds. And
yep.
Yeah,
Well,
And then
all
you erase the other shit and
Yeah.
then
Well,
kind of flesh it out.
I the way that I always tried to do it was I was going to from pencil, hit, and paper to finished product, and I got a comic book, like how to make comic books.
Right.
I love
Right.
comics. I love comics.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I almost did Stone and Jumps on this instead of the CD collection. And Sheriff was like, well, I mean, that will work better. But so she was like, oh, yeah. So I was in art class when I was a kid, and they're like, oh, yeah, you'll draw like the egg and draw the lines. And I was like, nah, I'm just going to try to do the eyebrows and everything. Like, no, you got to work through the process of this. And I could not wrap my head around, like, no, you just start and finish it. And then so as I've gotten older, like, because I draft now for a living, I'm like, oh, no, I sketch it out, and it's all shitty on Sketch. And I'll, like, show an engineer, like, here, I drew this for you. Here, let me go to CAD and make it look real good. And then I'm like, then I'll draw him something really elaborate in CAD. And like, how did you do this? I'm like, I don't know, ellipse.
I mean, that's
fillet.
That's been like with photography. Like I can see a picture. Like I'll have a picture in my mind how I want this to look, you know, and how I want it to light. And I want this over here, and I want it backlit. And I want this, and I want, you know, where it fades off, and you know, a little bit of color here. You know, hit it with like a red gel there, and you know, it's like in my mind I can see it, and I can make that happen. What fucks me up is like trying to learn video now that I'm like coming from a still photography world. In my mind I'll be like, ooh, you know what would be good in this shot is having it do this and this. I don't know how to translate that. Yeah. And then I get frustrated and I'm like, fuck it, I'll just go take a picture.
I have a photographer friend that I'm teaching some video to. It's really the same as photo. It's just think of video as moving photos.
Right.
So, you know, you take a picture here. Just think of it as one, you know, motion.
So we have another buddy. His episode will come out tomorrow. And so he's been a videographer. Lofton, he worked at KFOR with you. I think he had some overlap.
What's his name?
Derek Lofton.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we were talking about you the other day, and he was like, oh, tell him what's up. And so I was talking about how we had done a little goofy promo, and we're trying to do this, and this. And he was like, okay, well, what was the problem? I was like, well, we did this and did that, did this. And he's like, you're thinking about it from like just one, you're doing a one-shot take because you don't know how to edit. You don't know how to do all this.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And he's like, yeah, you would do this, and it would be that. And that's like your photo. And you do this, and it would be that. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And he's like, don't be afraid of DaVinci or Premiere.
Just storyboard it, pretty much.
Well, and that's what he and I talked about.
Yeah.
Well, and that's he and I talked. He's like, storyboard out what you want, and he's like, you do this, and then you do that, and you do this, and he's like, don't be afraid to go in there and clip it out. And oh yeah, this scene's a little. And I was trying to figure it all out, and he was like, I'll come over and help you guys because like you really fucking struggling on this. I'm like, you know, yeah, you're wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah,
but the video, because like you see these really kick-ass videos, and it's like this scene, and that's painting that scene. Well, for us, it's painting the scene one time,
right?
Not the revolution around maybe an object.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's been fun to learn because like when I did skateboard videos when I was like fucking 15, I was like, I got my high 8 VHS tape. I'm like, fucking just coming over here with a bag, man. So yeah, it's been enjoyable.
Shit's coming back though.
Yeah. Once you learn on the editing side, that's really where everything takes place. Yeah. So once you learn all that, man, it'll be second nature. Everything's hard until you learn it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, yeah. It was like
editing. I can do editing, like Final Cut, because I used to use Final Cut. And
I love Final Cut. I hate fucking Adobe Premiere.
Yeah.
So I get Premiere because of a package I have. Like, thanks for video. But
that's the trial version.
I was gonna say,
no, it is. No, I have a bootleg one. I got a fucking old Paris. But like, it's hard, and then the sheriff went to school for that shit. So I'm like, can you come in here? And she's like, I'm not helping you with that shit.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's pretty cold.
She's like, you're on your own.
Yeah, figure it out. Key cut.
That life insurance policy paid? Okay.
No, absolutely not. Better find my dad has had one of my motorcycles. But yeah, like, so when you were going through all that stuff, how did you go to college for editing? Or?
No, actually, man, I'm self-taught with that stuff. I went to college for graphic design, actually.
Okay.
Just because I thought it would be at the time more lucrative.
Where'd you go?
And I knew I could use my photography with the graphic design to do like posters, CD covers, and stuff like that. Art Institute, Pittsburgh.
Oh,
nice.
You went to AI?
Yeah.
My buddy went to AI Dallas.
I got into AI Dallas, and then my parents saw how much it was going to be, and they were like,
it was expensive.
They were like,
oh, dude, it's not
absolutely not.
Look, you know what's
But I got
I
my.
think I'm still good for now.
Okay, cool.
But definitely I'm going to take another one.
Okay, I'll go ahead and get it out.
Yeah.
I got my graphic design photography degree. I went to UCO.
Okay, that's a good place.
Go Bronchos.
My thing with the whole school thing, I see the value in certain fields, right?
I know, absolutely.
When it comes to graphic design, I was way ahead. So when I went to school,
Yeah.
we were learning. I was in Wichita, Kansas at this point.
Right.
I was doing CD covers for musicians. I was doing posters. I was doing logos and stuff.
Yep.
And we were in school, like the basics of Photoshop. And I'm like, I'm fucking actually making money doing this stuff. And you're talking about fucking Photoshop? Like I'm past Photoshop right now.
Yeah.
And
I had a class like that. We get in, I'm using hotkeys.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, I'm so far past this. And
Yeah.
even my instructor's like, yeah. You know, I'm like, I'll come in and do my thing and like help people. And he's like, we're not there yet. You know, because I'll be like, hey, just do this. Yeah. Alt-I, you know, and like you're just like move and it's like, hey.
I hate to say it like that, but that type of stuff is for the people that are going to be just workers, really.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is they're going to teach you how to use the programs, and then you're going to be kind of creative.
Yeah.
And then you're going to work for a company and they're going to tell you what to make.
Yep.
When you're people like us that like just create from shit, from nothing, then that's when you're more independent and you know what I mean?
I started using Photoshop in 94 and I talked.
Did you use it with DOS?
Damn, 94?
Yeah.
How old
I
are
was
you,
like,
man?
He's old.
I'm old.
Having old balls over here.
52.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks older, doesn't he? It's crazy.
Chubby pawpaw, man. Chubby pawpaw magic.
Now you know why I'm trying to get skinny, so I live longer.
Is that really gonna skinny to live? that might take you out of here sooner, man.
Yeah, he's
gotta have some meat on the bone, man.
But no, I was
heavy to hold.
I was in the military and I started doing
What branch?
Air Force.
The chair force, bro.
Bitch, I'm not dumb. I'm not dumb.
He went in there doing PT on bicycles and shout out to the Air Force, man.
So when I was at Metro Tech,
when I go TDY, I like sleeping in hotels.
Ain't that some shit, man?
Did you serve?
Yeah, Navy.
Oh, okay.
That's what I said. Chair force, man.
Yeah. My brother was in the Navy.
See?
Yeah,
What did you do in the Navy?
Well, the real men, no.
Like that real lesson the other day. There's a branch for special forces, the Marine Corps.
Oh man, we used to fuck with those guys.
Yeah.
We used to have PT with those guys, basketball shit. We used to call them bullet catchers and shit.
Yep.
Or we say,
and you tell it, we're the Marine Corps. Your checks say Department of the Navy.
hey, no. When we would see them, you know, we would say, "This is fucked up." We would say, "Hey man, thanks for stopping those bullets for. Thanks for catching those bullets for us, man.
Thanks for letting me do my job back here."
Yeah.
What'd you do in the Navy?
That shit. Communications.
Okay.
Oh, well,
yeah.
you guys can nerd out about that.
I wasn't in there that long though because I had fractured cartilage
Okay.
in my knee, and my orders were for Pensacola.
Okay.
And
The most dangerous part of Florida.
the
Yeah,
best part
yeah.
is where all the girls are, but
Exactly.
Yeah.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
But man, I went and talked to the doctor. They did the X-ray and everything, and I was gonna let them do surgery. And I think they were like, "Hey, we're gonna give you some
get
time to
that
think
VA
about
money.
it." Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, they were like, "We're gonna let you think about it." I'm 18 at this point, and I was leaving on the last day that I had a chance to make a decision. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna let them do it, and then I'll be cool." And I saw a guy that got a stress fracture, and I was like, "Man, what happened to you?" He had a halo around his knee, and I was like, "What happened to you, man?" And he was like, "Yeah, I had a stress fracture." And And I was like, "Oh, well, you're gonna get out of here." And he's like, "Dude, I've been here for like a year." I was like, "What the a year?" So I went back to the doc, and I'm like, "Man, this is like a couple weeks, right?" He's like, "I can't guarantee you that." And I was like, "Wait a minute."
He's like, "Motherfucker, we're a school.
Yeah.
And we teach him, motherfucker."
I was like, "Am I gonna be here for a year?" And he said, "That's possible." I was like, "Oh,
He's
yeah,
like,
give me
let's
this
just go ahead. Let's start off with probable.
I was like, "I'm 18, bro. I can't be in here like a year or two in the medical barracks." You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You just laid up watching MASH all day?
Getting ice cream.
Hell no, man.
Yeah.
I'm way too active for that.
You're like,
Have
no.
that nurse come in and be like, sponge bath time.
No, man.
We're gonna do an STD check real fast.
Yeah.
I haven't been anywhere. I've been in this bed the whole time. I got bed rash.
We need to do that
My-
cavity check. I need you to spray.
My brother,
Duck walk, sir.
There you go.
brother-
Again?
yeah, he was in the Navy. He was stationed out at Coronado.
Your brother? Younger brother?
Older.
Oh, okay.
2 years older.
Man, he was in there when it was the good Navy.
Oh, he was, yeah. Yeah, he was SEAL team, underwater demolition.
Yeah.
So he got to do some
Some cool shit.
The
SEALs are badass, man.
And then
They are.
and
Yeah.
this motherfucker still, he's like the Terminator. He's
Yeah.
54.
Dude, it is
runs
unfucking real.
Runs a 6.5 minute mile. And there's just like, he has 2 speeds, on and off.
Yeah.
And
It's amazing what you can do if you put your mind to it, man.
Yeah.
A lot of-
But
I know
he-
that sounds kind of cliche, but it's real.
Oh, I know.
Like you see
Yeah.
that shit.
yeah, he was in for 6 years, and then he motorcycle wreck, shatters his wrist, and he was like, I think I'm gonna get out.
Yeah.
Motorcycle wreck.
Yeah,
Damn, I hate to hear that.
yeah. But
Which reminds
I mean,
me-
he's a doctor now with
Yeah.
a
He's doing okay.
a doctor now with a young attorney wife. So
Oh, well, we
he's
don't
doing-
fucking feel bad for
I
that
don't
guy.
feel bad for his brother at
No,
all.
not at
when
all.
I go to his house, I'm always like, yeah, I take that. I take that deal. I take that deal all day. Yeah.
Shit, man.
Hey,
Just,
talk about
just
Rick.
got his VA up to like 90%.
Did he really?
What?
Yeah,
Damn, good look at him.
yeah. Because he was like, he got some X-rays back, and he's like, yeah, my neck's broke. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, look at this X-ray. And I'm like, he's like, they never told me my neck was broke. And I'm like, no shit. And he's like, yeah, I filed. They bumped it up from like, I think he was at 40 or something. They're like, here's 90.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like,
nice.
just be quiet about it.
Yeah,
Allegedly, my neck's broken.
allegedly.
Right.
Yeah. So what you were talking about accidents? What happened to you? You got hit by a car.
Yeah, man. Over off of Classon and what's that, 13, 10, something?
Over there where that
Mhm.
goofy intersection's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
13th
lady.
Classon.
A lady ran through, man, and T-boned me.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and
damn.
the crazy thing about it is,
Killed her.
no,
Allegedly.
the crazy thing about it, man, is when she
Fractured my other
when
cartilage.
when she was coming, I didn't see her.
You went to
I
come.
felt the heat from her radiator,
Oh fuck.
like coming towards my and it happened so fast.
Yeah.
And so as soon as I felt heat on this side of my body, I jumped up on my seat, like to stand on my seat.
What is up, cat-like reflexes?
And she hits the bike, and of course, it kind of knocks my legs, and I go tumbling across the street. The guy that was at the intersection was a off-duty EMT.
okay.
So
Lucky
he,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm laying down. This shit played out like a movie. I'm laying down on the ground, and I'm looking, like, face on the ground, looking across the street, and I see a car door open, feet hit the ground, and start running towards me.
You're like, oh fuck.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And the crazy thing is, when I got hit, I went flying, and then I just
rolled.
rolled
Yeah,
on
yeah.
just rolling super fast. And no joke, my thought was just, fuck, this is it.
Yeah.
I stopped, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm still
here.
alive. Yeah.
Yeah, still here.
And so he runs over there, and he's like, what day is it? What time is it? He asked
Yeah.
me who the president is. I'm telling him.
I'm glad I'm not the only motherfucker that asked this question.
Yeah. And he's
Yeah.
like, man, you're pretty fucking coherent for a person that just got hit like that. He was like, I just saw this. And I was like, it's funny because I said, dude, I got a good helmet.
Yeah.
He was like, you do.
Yeah.
And so they put me in the back of the ambulance and everything. And I mean, I don't remember feeling anything. It was just like a dream, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And yeah, and
Got that adrenaline. Just
yeah.
Just
pumping
pumping for you.
And my wife was like, they called her, and she hates motorcycles,
Okay.
so I knew she was gonna be pissed. So I'm chilling in the hospital.
Just
like,
tell her to fill in the stairs.
Yeah.
At Home Depot. Home Depot has stairs now.
yeah, I hear her heels clicking down the hall. And I'm like, fuck. And she was like, she comes in there first. She makes sure I'm okay.
Sheriff version 2.
Yeah. Fuck
Apparently.
the sheriff, the fucking captain. And she was like, what happened? And, da, da, da. And so once she found out I was okay, then she started, bitching
Oh,
about the
shit.
bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, you got to get rid of
What's
it.
that
and blah, blah,
bitch's
blah.
name? I'm gonna kill her.
And I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not getting rid of the bike. She was like, what? I was like, we'll talk about this later.
Yeah.
And so,
Let me heal.
yeah, and so while she's arguing, this is kind of dick I am. While she's arguing about it, they roll in, true shit. They roll in on a gurney, a person with this metal bar through their head.
What?
And while she's talking to me, my eyes drift over, and I'm like, whoa. And she looks too. And I asked the nurse, like, oh, what happened? She was like, car wreck. and so while she's like where you are, fussing. I look at her and I go, the guy on the motorcycle gets to go home tonight. She was pissed as fuck. She was pissed as fuck, bro.
She's like, I fucking hate your
Yeah,
life.
she was
God
pissed.
damn it.
She was pissed. And so, and I mean, I just got some road rash and stuff, man. And after that, the crazy thing is I kept calling one of my bros. I was like, did you pick my bike up? And he was like, dude, you just had a wreck. I got your bike. Just calm down.
Yeah.
The next day I was fucking bandaged up over his house, like trying to see how bad it was.
Yeah.
Can we put it together? I'm calling my mechanic, like explaining what happened. I'm going to see you some pictures. How long will this take to get back? And that's the only thing I was thinking about was getting back on a bike.
Yeah.
And, you know, the missus was like, that's all you care about? Which, man, I don't think people understand that you have people that think it's cool to ride a bike.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have people that really just love to ride.
Yep. Right.
I'm one of those people.
Yep.
Yeah.
The last time we had a fucking hailstorm here, when was that? Last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a new Challenger,
Okay.
Dodge Challenger. I love that fucking car, but
Yeah.
that's another story. I had it perfect. Had the louvers on it,
Yes.
the old school mags and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. I remember this one.
And it started hailing. No joke. It started hailing. The wife goes, it's hailing outside. I was like, what the fuck? So I run to the garage and she's like, what is he running? What is he running for? I let the garage up, pull the car out, pull the bike in. And she was like, are you fucking shitting me? I was like, man, fuck that car. The bike is what
The bike is going to be a hard one to get replaced. Yeah.
She was like, are you kidding me right now? I was like,
No,
yeah, they
You
can
open
have
the
that
front
shit.
door and ride it right in the living room.
Yeah.
There was, I don't remember if it was tornado was coming or hailstorm was coming, but the sheriff called and she was like, you need to be home now.
Yeah.
And so I moved the truck, her car in, and I got all the scooters, the bikes, and everything in the garage. And I'm like, as long as it takes 20 minutes or less, I usually have that much heads up for big hail and all that
Right.
shit. But like, I will make sure, because I was like, I will roll these motherfuckers in the house, and they're not gonna be in there for fucking ever.
Shit,
Yeah.
dude, the bike is the number one for me. The car, they can replace. Insurance can take care of
Yeah, I
that.
mean, I got a new
Yeah.
truck. I mean, like, well, not new, but like they can get like it's some motherfuckers. All the new's been worn off that truck like 4 times now. It's
Once
been
I
hit
start-
Yeah, Kim rubbed the new off that truck.
she hit a fucking pole on one side, got side swiped by a drunk attorney on the other side. Fucking hot tub lid came off and hit the front.
Damn.
Yeah, that
No.
truck's been through some shit.
Once I start to customize my bike, man, it's
Yeah.
more of a personal thing,
Well, and
Yeah, because
like an extension of me.
When insurance comes back, they're gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, you did that. We'll give you $3 for that
Yeah.
$500
yeah.
accessory upgrade."
Yeah, I got hit on that Dyna that you saw.
Oh, is that the?
Yeah, that Dyna was originally red. That blue Dyna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I brought that back from the dead, man.
Oh,
Rebuilt
nice.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why everybody wanted to know what it was, because that wasn't the original tank. The original.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I remember you were telling me whenever I saw it, you're like, oh yeah, that bike's been redone and all that stuff. I was like, all right, Harley stuff. So
Yeah.
I figured you just did some new tins and all that stuff. I didn't know it was through an accident and all that.
Yeah.
It's kind of surprising because it looks really fucking
Yeah.
good for
Yeah.
being through a T-bone
Yeah.
scenario.
That's why I was a pretty attached. That's why I'm attached to the bikes that I
Yeah.
own, because I've done a lot to them.
Yeah, it's like, Nerd Alert. It's my FJ09, and like I fucking love that bike. I got it
Yeah.
with 180 miles on it from Maxie's around the corner, and I've got almost 18,000 on it, 17,000 or something like that.
Something like that.
It didn't leave the state until last year.
Oh shit.
That would be like, I'm gonna go get breakfast over here, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do this today. And like I was on the bike as much as humanly possible. Like,
Well, that's like I would like to get a newer, like cruise control would be nice.
yeah, cruise control when
mean-
you had it, it's pretty dope.
It would be nice to get something a little bit newer, but then I'm like, if I sell my bike, I'm gonna get this. If I, or if I trade it in, I'm gonna get this, and then, I'm gonna spend this much on a bike, but then it's like I'm gonna have to do 5,000-6,000
Yep.
of bullshit
Yep.
that I've done on this one that I've got it where I like the way it rides, I like the way it fits me and everything else, and so it's like, no.
Yeah. I look at it like this, man. If you're going to buy the Harley, just ride it, put some miles on it and trade it back in.
Yeah.
Get a brand new Harley. But
yeah,
if you're a person
yeah.
that likes to customize, there's no reason to buy a new Harley.
Yep.
Yes,
Because you're gonna throw
You're
so
paying
much
a
money.
bunch of money to
Yep.
Harley Financial.
Yep.
And then you're gonna spend a bunch. Well, and always with the new bikes too. It's like
Yeah.
you get some weird year, and like everybody that hasn't made all the new parts for it
Yep.
yet. So like, we think it works on your bike.
Remember
so-
the Sport Glide? Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit. Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
that's the nice thing about the Harley stuff. It's like coming out like I'm used to not having aftermarket support for most of my shit. So like coming out of really fast Volvos when I was making them, like I had to make everything.
Mhm.
Like I was like, oh, I want this. Well, I had to go get that thing to go make it go faster or do whatever I want with it. So I'm used to not having aftermarket support for stuff. But then like you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this chain conversion on my Sportster. I'm like, how hard? Nope. But fucking call Lowbrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have it on sale.
Yeah.
$530
Yeah.
chain.
I love Lowbrow, man. Shout out to Lowbrow.
Dude, Lowbrow. We need to get them sponsored.
We
Yeah.
should
Come on,
get-
Lowbrow
Lowbrow-
sponsor.
Lowbrow's the shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah. I've spent a
some money.
lot of money with those folks.
Yeah. But it's nice because that is the one thing about Harleys. When people ask me about motorcycles, like I have a guy that he works at Anki around the corner. He's like, want to get his first bike. I'm like, well, what do you want to do riding wise? So you like, is your wife gonna go on the back? Or you want to go around like overholster or draper really fast? Like, what do you want to do? And he's like, I kind of want to get on and ride for like 3 days out someplace and 3 days back. I'm like, well,
Damn.
but I'm like, everyone says
Yeah.
that when they first get a bike, but like until you've done it, you don't know what it's like.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you can rent this bike, you
Right.
you can borrow a bike from maybe a friend. But I was like, here's your categories of stuff.
Right.
But I'm like, if you just want to be bop around town, like don't let anybody talk you out of a fucking scooter. I'm like, go get a scooter. And if you want to borrow a scooter, come over and grab the fucking scooter.
Yeah.
Tell me how that thing is not the shit.
I don't care what nobody says, dude. Scooters are the shit.
They're
The
so much fun.
fuck-
I rode
shit.
one all summer. Like,
Yeah.
damn, what was that shit? Is it the Yamaha with the bug eyes, the Baja?
Yeah.
The Zuma.
Man, the Zuma, that's what it
Zuma,
is.
Zuma, the Zuma
Man,
50.
oh,
Yeah.
dude, I rode that shit a whole summer.
Yeah.
You can park anywhere on the sidewalk. I was
Yeah.
like, anytime
Well,
you just need to
like
get around the city.
The ruckuses.
Yeah.
There's a group.
Oh yeah,
around
already-
here.
Come on, man, we
Yeah.
know about that.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah.
ruckuses in the what's the
The Zuma?
No, not the moped, the little motorcycle.
Oh, the
It's Honda.
Groms.
The Groms.
Yeah, the Groms.
Yeah, oh,
the
dude,
Groms.
the Grom goons. Like,
Yeah.
well, and that
I like the
You get fucked up
monkeys.
by the Hunter Groms dudes, man. They're like a little biker gang, man.
Dude.
They are. And
they're
I
all
like.
like 18,
I like.
19,
Yeah.
no fear.
I saw one at a garage sale one time. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
like $2,000, and it
A
was
Grom?
Oh,
Yeah.
it was clapped.
Yeah, he
He
was
was
sending
caught-
messages. He's like, should I get this Grom right
But
now?
I'm like, man, because I watch them, they're wheeling around, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, that looks like so much fun.
It's fun as hell, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So when I first started riding my 300, it was the big motor swap for the Groms was the 300 down my CB 300R, a little cafe racer. So everyone's like, do not just park that thing where you cannot see that thing. Because like some Grom guy is going to get like 4 buddies. They're going to lift it in the back of their
Oh,
truck.
yeah.
And then you're going to have a bike with no engine in it anymore. And you're going to see some Grom just fucking ripping ass past you. I'm like, huh? And I saw one. I'm like, God damn.
That's why I saw one on Broadway Extension.
Doing like fucking 90.
Yeah.
With
I was
not,
like,
not a
I was
small
like,
dude.
I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man, you can do a lot of stuff to bikes these days.
Yeah, like stretch swing arms, fucking big board kits. Like that's the Zuma. One of my buddies has a Zuma 50, and he's like, "Oh, dude, I big boarded it 70. It
Yeah.
will do fucking like 90 miles an hour." And I'm like,
Yeah, and if
"What
you-
in the fuck?"
If you're
We
good, if you're handy yourself, man, you can
Oh,
do a
yeah.
lot of that stuff for
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah.
The parts and stuff are cheap. Or if
Yeah.
you got, people that do work like that,
Last summer we
I'll be
went
back.
down to a
Don't pay me any attention.
again.
Yeah.
You went before the
I know. I
Started.
got a small bladder.
like a fucking woman.
He's playing with himself. Man.
I think so.
I'll just talk about little bikes.
No, we went down to a camp out, and he had taken his scooter, and then one of the other guys we ride with has one. Mopeds, Mo Pussy, and this motherfucker is hot. Like he's got it where it you twist the throttle and it goes.
It rips,
and
yeah.
it rips, and so. They were all racing, doing laps around, the campgrounds and stuff, and it was a lot of fun.
Damn.
So
That's good stuff, man. Yeah, man. It's just a lot of people get caught up in the brands, like, oh, it's this bike, I'm riding this. It don't really matter. It's just as
Yeah.
long as the shit's fun, it's a good ride. I'll ride it all, man.
I've been looking at like the little mini bike with a Predator conversion, and like the go-kart with the Predator, and like the 212s. And I'm like, because I've been going down that rabbit hole here lately, and I'm like, I was watching some dudes that they take the kid carts,
Yeah.
and there's like 8 of them, and they built a dirt course, and it has to be a Predator 212, and it has to be the kid cart, but they're going out and racing them, and they're doing like dirt track racing, and they're like, don't let anybody else in. But it was like I started watching, and I'm like, hell, that looks like so much fucking fun with all this shit. And then like
It is.
the Coleman bikes where everybody's doing
yeah.
the 212, the Predator conversion on.
212s.
Yeah, like I'm like.
Anything that gets everybody into riding to me, man.
Yeah.
Like, did you see that when they brought the Honda Monkey back?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I love the monkeys. Like,
See what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
I feel like anything that gets everybody back riding because it's kind of dropped, man. Like in the youth, anyways. Like,
yeah.
remember growing up, it's like, man, you couldn't wait to get your license. Couldn't wait to drive.
I had a go-kart until I flipped it and broke it. And then I had
Some real spanky activity over
a
there.
Honda 125 three-wheeler, the big moon
See,
tires.
yeah, man.
And all my friends had the little dirt bikes.
Yeah.
My parents were like, "No, you ain't getting a dirt bike."
Even though you're gonna break your neck on that
And-
three-wheeler.
Oh, dude,
Dude.
because I'm hitting the same jumps as those motherfuckers hitting, except when I land, I'm jumping again.
Yeah.
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 So it's just like, go ahead, man.
Well, no, I mean, like, that was the thing is, like, I wanted everyone, when I started riding, to start riding with me. So when we were doing the Oklahoma City small CC stuff, it was like, when I worked at Atomic Brown, we had a bunch of guys that were riding scooters and shit like that. I was like, yeah, come on, ride it out. Like, and
Yeah.
the Ice Bear, that was the goofy three-wheeler scooter thing. I'm like, yeah, come on out. And people were like, can I ride this? Fuck yeah, bring it on out.
Yeah.
Ride anything, man.
Like growing up, we had the Trail 80s, you know?
yeah.
and,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
those were a riot, you know, because my parents had a place down at the lake. So it's like you're ripping around to the neighborhood on those. And
Yeah,
yeah.
these
Like-
kids now don't want to ride. They don't
No.
want to ride. They don't drive. It's like
Yeah.
they're like 20 getting a
Either
license.
that, either that
for the first
weird to
time.
think
because
about.
they get on with like the razors and side by sides and all that, and which those are fun too,
Right.
but it's not the same. You know,
It's
you're not
not.
hitting
No.
the trails and hitting the jumps and building your own dirt jumps.
I think it's
and-
because they're too scared, man. They're too
I
pussy
mean,
today.
maybe.
You know,
You
seriously,
ain't-
we
you
would
ain't- you ain't
we would
wrong.
do shit just because.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like build a janky ass ramp
Yep.
that's not gonna hold shit
Nope.
and just send that shit.
Yep.
I remember
Walking home, with your face all,
Yeah.
you know, half of it's on the
Now you got to
pavement.
explain this shit to your mama.
I don't know what happened. You had
I
pants.
had a cracked tooth because I fucking tried to do a bike jump.
I was
with
gonna
some
say I
milk-
busted a
It, was-
knee.
it, was-
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
a
this
2x6 and a
And the
milk
milk
crate.
crate, yeah. I did that shit on the BMX bike
Yeah.
and busted
It
my
was.
fucking knee open, man.
I went over the handlebars and smacked my face, cracked my tooth, and my mom was pissed and like went to the dentist. I can't tell you how many years went to the dentist. They'd like try to put a thing back in, and it'd always fall out.
Yeah.
And it's like the fourth time my mom's like, "Well, you just got a janky fucking tooth."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
worth it though.
And then I just went even bigger and knocked them both out.
Dude, so we lived across the street from elementary school. My sister was 5 years older than me. So she was like, oh, I'll teach you how to do a wheelie on your bicycle today. And I was like, all right, cool. So I had my bike for all of 3 days, training wheels and everything. I was like, I'm pulling these things off. My dad's like, no, you're not. I went over, grabbed a crescent, pulled the fucking training wheels off. I got the shit down. 32 minutes later, probably, I just eat shit into a handicap pole rail thing.
Oh shit.
So she was like, yeah, pop a little wheelie over this curb. And it's like, you know, like 2-inch curb, fucking boom, right into the pole. Fucking knock all these teeth out. That's the only time in my life, no, second time until last year, that I could not remember a moment of my whole, like, I'm like, I don't black out and shit because I knocked this tooth out, that tooth, and this
Damn.
tooth. Broke them all up. And like, my mom's freaking out. She's all high on morphine. She's like, oh, what are we going to do? And take me to the hospital. And they're like, call a dentist.
They're like, "Here's some morphine." She's like, "Thank you."
Put those teeth.
Yeah.
Put those teeth in milk.
Yeah,
Now they tell you that.
Yeah, so like this is like, you know, when I got this done, this is like $14,000 bridge up here. And I
Oh,
wanted gold.
shit.
Yeah, I was trying to get gold fronts, and my dad was just not fucking having it. But yeah, like, you know, like my nephews now, like one of them, super nice kid, but wants to play video games all the time. Like, do you want to go ride bikes? He's like, nope, I'm good. And then the other two are fucking wildmen, where they're like, they have little like pit 80s and pit 50s and shit. So my brother-in-law lives in like 40 acres. And I hear them out in the distance. I'm like, oh God. And they're getting at it. It's the Church of Brap is happening. And it's like Thanksgiving. I was like, fucking listen to the Brap. And then they come up and there's like this fucking retaining wall. And they just fucking ramp over this retaining. I'm like, what is up, Motor Militia? What the fuck, dude? And they like no fear at all. No helmet.
Hey,
I had
that's
to-
the future, man. Protect those kids at all costs.
Yeah,
man.
I was like, okay, guys, we're going to wear helmets now. Because like you do need to protect your head. But
We made a ramp one time. They were building a new house. So when where my parents still live, they were the second house like built in this housing addition, you know. So, and I had the 3-wheeler, and then once they started building other houses, and there was a couple kids I hung out with that had little 125s, and so we're all like riding and ripping around. We had trails, and come around this house, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna build. They had dropped a bunch of sand for I don't know what, but it's like
for backfill for the slab.
So that so they had
I just
all.
went through that last week.
They had all the fucking piles out there, and we're like motocross.
Yeah.
Like this is
Yeah.
like, oh my God, what
Yeah.
they just did this for us. And so we like pack a trail.
There's like two cool guys that were there. Like, yeah, this is for the kids.
Yeah. So we like get out there and we're like packing down a trail and all these because we're gonna send it. We're just like in the fucking motocross. We're vroom, vroom, Cool thing about that is when you first launch it and send it, it goes off perfect.
Yeah.
That's not the hard part.
It's
The hard part is you're like, I don't know what else to do.
Right.
I don't know how to
You
land.
don't have any other. You watch Evil Knievel start and make the jump.
yeah.
You watch them fail all those times.
You didn't think it the rest of the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun night. I had to roll home on that 3-wheeler with a bent axle going ka-kunk, 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 and get my ass chewed by my dad because it's like $100 for a new axe. Like bent it like an L when that thing landed and.
Yeah. So when I was in the 5th grade, I grew up really, really poor. And so I had been asking about like junior dragsters, and my dad's really good about promising and never delivering.
Oh shit.
So he was like, "Oh, dude, like I'm gonna get you this go kart," because he got some amount of money from something. I don't know, OnlyFans back in the day, whatever it was. So he buys me this Yerf Dog go kart from Academy. I had to build it with him, put it together, and then where Dell is now, over off of like 15th and I-44, used to be this big like motocross go kart track area. And he, like first day, he's like, "Have fun. It's got seat belts, it's got a roll cage. You'll have fun. So you start to roll over, clasp your hands together like this. Got it." So I'm out there 4 or 5 months later. I'm fucking doing like Bernie's, donuts, all the shit, just cutting it up. And there's this little asphalt track that goes around, and I would go on that and then go off and fucking go through the little dunes and all that shit. And then there was a rainstorm the week before, so there's this big rut where like somebody got stuck. So I'm doing fucking donuts and shit, and I hit that rut, and it's right next to the asphalt, and I just fucking bam roll that go kart over. Well, I was like, I'm fucking like 5th grade. I'm like, I can stop it. No idea how fucking physics work. So I roll my hand out like this. It gets caught underneath the fucking roll cage of this go kart. The carburetor fills it with fuel, and it's just doing this. And my dad's like, "Fuck yeah, that's metal as shit," because he's just thinking I'm just fucking getting at it.
Yeah,
like monster truck shit.
It's like your son's dying.
I'm over there. He can't hear it because all he's hearing is the go kart, but it's me screaming.
He can't hear the screams of death.
Well, my arms pinched between the asphalt and the roll cage, and I had a fucking like probably like 6-inch fucking hole in my arm.
Damn.
So I cut it off. And then the fuel runs out of the bowl of the carburetor, and it stops doing its side fucking donut thing. And he runs over. He's like, "Was that fucking awesome?" And I was like, "Help me!" And he rolls me back over, and he goes, "Oh fuck,
Yeah.
Do not tell mom." And I was like, "All right." Didn't fuck up the roll cage or the go kart at all. He was like, "Oh, it's all good." He's looking at the go kart first because it was like $1,800. He's like, "It's all good." I'm like. And he's like, "Oh shit!" So we roll to Walmart. He's fucking scraping gravel and
Go to Walmart.
Yeah, dude. He
got some super glue and shit.
Dude, no, motherfucker. This motherfucker. He got like this antiseptic shit. And he was like, it says it numbs, and he sprays it in there. I was like, I think that was the first time I ever cussed my dad. I was like, "You motherfucker!"
Set you on fire, didn't it?
Dude, it was bad. I was like, "Nah, I don't want road rash anymore." But yeah, it was. But I remember doing that, and like we're talking to her nieces or her nephews. I'm talking to other people that have kids. I'm like, "You don't let them have 4-wheelers?" Like, fuck no. I remember what I did. They're all playing fucking Fortnite or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, but man, that's
you're missing out. Because you got to learn how to power slide on a 3-wheeler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
first time I ever got road rash, my mom was like, tried to clean it with hydrogen peroxide.
Oh man, that
fuck.
makes it worse.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, I screamed
She
like
was
a
like,
mother.
"Let me use the comb."
I screamed like a motherfucker, and then I get to the hospital, and they're like, "Here's some morphine."
Yeah. Let me dump
Everything's
this.
better now.
Yeah.
Our buddy last year, he had a car come out in front of him. He T-bones him doing like 40, 45.
That was how my shit was. Yeah, about 45.
Yeah, and like it's a bad accident because we didn't know if he was gonna make it at first. Is everything that was described, and so he goes through it all. We go see him in the hospital a couple days later. And well, we go see him the first day, but he's fucking high as shit. And then like 2-3 days later, he's like, yeah, man, all I remember is they gave me some ketamine. And we're like, oh, okay. And he was like, yeah, they start scraping the fucking road rash off of my. And he was like, I fell in a goddamn K-hole. He was like, and the nurse is like, it's pretty fucking funny, man. I wish I had shit on camera, but yeah. So you were only in the hospital that one night? That's good.
Yeah, man. I didn't feel anything. After that adrenaline wore off, like when it was time for me to go home, I felt every fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like even on the ride home,
your ears hurt.
You hit a
just
bump,
a regular,
bump.
not even a bump, just a run of a rock.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. I was telling the missus, like, you got to slow down. She was like, I'm only going 5 miles. Like coming out of a parking lot, that shit was brutal, man. The pain meds, I needed those.
Yeah.
But the good thing is I have a buddy that a bro that his wife's a nurse and she had some kind of medical honey.
Oh yeah, Manuka honey.
I don't know what it's called, but I had to take these packs and put it on.
Yeah.
And man, you can't even. I have no road rash left, and I know that stuff really worked because I have other people that had it, and you can still see their road rash.
Right.
Like you don't see shit on my arms anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you had told me when I met you, because you did tell me you're like you should probably wear like a jacket or like something.
That's why I said that because it'll fuck your.
Yeah.
And if you got like I got tattoos.
Yep.
Thankfully, none of them got fucked. So
Yeah.
Yeah, like because
He's okay.
Yeah, I'm virgin skin over here. I'm afraid of needles. That's why I didn't.
He's
do
just a
heroin.
virgin.
Yeah.
We don't have kids to prove anything.
You got to. Hey, your first tattoo, Chubby Boy Magic.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well,
we need to get a tattoo artist on here and be like, all right.
You just want to
Let's
listen
do
to me
it.
scream the entire. Oh, you want to do it? Okay.
You know who Mason Mayhall is? Get him, man.
Who's that?
Mason's a buddy of mine, but he's the dope artist.
Okay.
Tattooer, and he rides dirt bikes, motorcycles, everything.
nice.
Okay. Where's he work at? What studio? You know?
Oh man, don't make me forget. Damn
He's
it!
like,
Remember.
Now I gotta
remember.
because I'm on the spot, so I gotta.
well, and that's the thing is like I've had a lot of people I know that are tattoo artists where they're like, I'll do your first one. I'm like, man, like
See, I got.
he's like full body. He's got a tattoo of his dick on his dick. It's
Oh,
pretty
wow.
fucking
Yeah.
wild. It's the only thing that grows on him. But like,
Says your mom was here.
I'm sorry.
Supreme Canvas.
Where's
He's at
that at?
Supreme Canvas Tattoos.
Okay.
Supreme Canvas is at North MacArthur.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yep. He's super dope. So
Yeah, that was like I talked about getting tattoos. Like I was gonna get Pitchfork from Queens of the Stone Age's album.
I love Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh, dude. So I was gonna get the Songs for the Deaf
Yeah.
Pitchfork on my forearm, and I was gonna get Rex's paw print over here done in his coat colors and all that stuff.
Oh, sweet. What happened, man?
I just don't like needles. Then I'm like,
You gotta tough it out, man.
I don't like needles either. My whole back's done.
Yeah, I don't like
my-
needles either, but I got quite
Yeah.
a few tattoos.
My back's done, my chest, my arms.
It's not the same.
Yeah, and well,
It's
that's,
not.
everyone's like, oh, it really doesn't hurt that. Well, and since I'm a ginger too, is everyone's like, oh, anesthesia and all that stuff does not affect you, right? I'm like, yeah, no, I pay extra, and it never puts me out. Like when they did my wisdom teeth, I was awake the whole surgery, talking mad shit to the surgeon too. Like,
Yeah, you should get it, man.
yeah,
I'll tell you one thing. Make sure you think it through.
Yeah.
Where in your everything. I went to get this tattoo on my hands.
okay.
You're
And
gonna do the knuckle across the.
no, I did it across my hands.
Oh, okay.
And
Where you can see the tattoo at. That's where you did it at. Right over here.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And
When you were
Thanks for
doing, you were
looking.
doing like this, and I thought you were
It's
going
like,
across.
no,
the
no,
Fuck
you're
mopping.
good.
Man, I've been.
It's
How?
so it hurt. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I usually go to sleep during tattoos, but that hurt. And where I fucked up at, it was winter. And where I fucked up at, I'm excited about the tattoo. That's all I'm thinking about. I go there. My bro over at Marcus Muse. I don't know if you guys.
Marcus.
Yeah,
Muse.
yeah, you know him. Yeah, man.
He did my
Muse art
chest.
tattoo. Yeah, that's my brother, man. But he did it, and I'm like, oh, this shit looks so dope. Blah blah blah. And so I get ready to leave, and I fucking forget I rode my bike.
Oh,
And I was like, what the fuck? He had my hands wrapped, and I go, shit.
Can you
He's
take
like,
me home?
He's like, what? I was like, I rode my bike. He's like, oh, bro, let's go. And it was cold.
Right,
It's like
right.
fucking
You planned this
27
out
degrees.
He's like,
perfectly. You're like,
So I'm riding, and I'm taking the city streets, and
every time.
every time I clutch, I'm in my helmet just screaming like, what the fuck? I'm like, this shit. And I'm like, I'm almost home. And when I get home, like I could drop a tear. I get in the house, my bandages are just bloody. I take them off and it's just like bloody goo, like fucking ooze everywhere.
The missus is like, what the fuck, dude?
And no, she wasn't at home when I got home with that. And I cleaned it off and man, it was better. But I had to sit like this for a while for my feeling to come back.
Yeah.
Because it's just this the whole way.
Yeah.
And I was like, why the fuck did I do that dumbass
Man, I've
shit?
been thinking about getting my hands blasted. I'm like, I like it.
It's worth it now. Like I love it.
I know,
Yeah,
I get it.
shit's dope.
Trust me. I'm like, ugh, I really want it, but then I'm like,
But I wanted to. I love Marcus, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
done
yeah.
other tats. And like I said, I probably went to sleep on half of them. But
Yeah.
when he did my hand, I wanted to just chop him in the throat
Oh, yeah.
a couple times because that shit. When you get to the tender part, especially on the outside of that,
Oh, yeah,
that shit
yeah.
hurts.
Yeah. Like,
so I got like this one when they were doing my sleeve down here. He was like, "Oh, you want it up here, like you don't want to go all the way down." And I was like, "Motherfucker, I said I want it all the way down. I don't want it like
Yeah.
4 inches up above my wrist. I want it down." Well, he was doing this little pointy thing right there, and he kept going back over, and I was like, "God damn that!" And then there's that little thing right
Yeah,
there on
yeah,
that
yeah.
bone. I'm just like,
yeah.
That's why they tell you that because they know
Yeah.
where the pressure points
"Oh
are.
yeah."
Yeah. Like Jackie Jones over at Jackie or wherever. What tattoo studio is she at? The one up at 50th in Portland? Anyway, I'll look it up a little bit. Shout out to Jackie. She's not going to listen. But she, at OFR, she was like, "Oh, man, I'll do your first tattoo for you because you never got one done." I'm like, I want to.
What is the name of that one?
Yeah, I'm trying to
Because that's
it's
where
not Keepsake.
Tyler
Yeah, no, it's not that one. It's another one.
Nolan.
That's the one over at the Grand and over by
Yeah.
Home Depot. Anyway,
It's not black magic, is it?
no, I don't think it's Black Magic.
It's where?
50th in Portland, over by Arbuckle Pies.
I think I know what you're
It's
talking
not
about.
Keepsake, but
No, it's
No,
not.
Keepsake is over. Off
I don't
Church
remember the
Broadway.
name, but I
But
think I know what you're talking about.
so I was at OFR. So everybody leaves. I go to breakfast with a couple of people the next morning when we're all leaving out from Ponca. And she's like, "Oh, you don't have any tattoos, do you?" And I was like, "Nope, never have."
Hard luck.
Hard
Hard look. Yeah,
That's it,
that's
hard
exactly.
luck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Oh, like I'll do your first tattoo. I'll be real gentle and all that stuff." I was like, "Okay, cool." Like this is what I want for my first one because like the pitchfork was like I really want to get that one done, forearm, and I was like, I want to do my dog's paw print right here. So when I'm having a rough day or because when I'm drafting and stuff, I see that.
Yeah.
And she's like, if that's your first tattoo, that's probably gonna be your last fucking tattoo. And I was like, well, are you for sure? And she's like, here, it's two ways. You'll get your first one done, it won't hurt you, and then all of a sudden you're just fucking tattoo guy.
Yeah.
Like the dude
Yeah.
from Maroon 5. You're just getting fucking
Like an
weird shit.
addiction, yeah.
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 And then my wife, she's got, I don't know, probably 8 tattoos.
Your wife's got more tattoos than
She
you.
does. She does.
Yeah.
She actually has one on the back of her neck. She has some down here. She has one on her hip. I'm trying to remember what else. But so she's like, nope, because she knows how indecisive I am. She's like, nope, because like I was gonna get the Volvo tattoo for a car that saved my life, and she's like, nope, you're gonna fucking hate Volvos all of a sudden. And then
No,
I
you
talked
won't.
to
You got to get shitty tattoos. That's the whole thing.
well, no, I'm
If
not
you
even.
see somebody without a shitty tattoo somewhere,
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't trust them. I don't trust them.
I got to tell you a story since you said shitty tattoos.
Yeah.
is it on your ass?
No, man. So, yeah,
Man,
you
those
got to
hurt-
get tattoos
Those hurt
for
like
yourself.
a motherfucker.
You got to get tattoos for yourself, not what you think is going to look cool.
Yeah,
but for
yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
So, went on this trip.
Okay.
I'm going to leave a lot of info out.
Okay.
Went on a
Allegedly.
trip. Yeah, went on a trip. A buddy was there. This is in Vegas.
Okay,
Um,
good start.
we were talking about getting tattoos,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't know what we were going to do. He definitely said, like, I'm getting a tattoo. I said, I might get one.
Yeah.
So we kick it in Las Vegas, whatever. Long story short, we end up going out like this is like the last night before
Okay.
we leave, and we're there on business. By the way, this is
Right.
this is work shit.
Yeah,
So we run into these nurses that are in Vegas, right? Pretty nurses, but
Right,
run into these
pretty
nurses.
nurses. Yeah,
And so he's feeling this girl, and
Dangerous combo.
I'm like, damn, I got a wingman, my boy, you know, because
you gotta be.
she had
that.
a, she had a
yeah.
homegirl that was kind of really tight, clinging to her. So I start hanging out.
You got to fall on that grenade.
Yeah. So I fall on a grenade. I mean, I've done this before, right?
Yeah,
like,
I'm
man,
a grown-ass adult.
I got
Yeah.
this shit. You know,
Yeah.
it's nothing. When this bitch gets belligerent drunk, I'm like, oh shit, what have I done?
Yeah.
My boy's handling business, right?
Right.
And you're like, God damn it.
Yeah. And my boy's handling business. She gets so drunk. I have to stop the bartender. And I'm like, I got to get her back to her. Like, I got to take her back
You're
to
like,
her room.
pickle shots, water, just say it's
So,
vodka.
so I kind of like, hook her arm like a gentleman.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And I go, let's go to, I make up something. Let's go check out the casino, and we're walking into a room. We get to the middle of the casino. And she goes, yeah, you're my boyfriend, blah, blah. And I was like, no. And so that's a trigger. That's a trigger for her. I don't know this, right? And she goes, what? She just yells this shit. And she goes, you don't fucking love me anymore. And I'm like, bitch, I don't even know you.
Let's not be honest. Let's be honest about this.
And so she starts walking up to people at the fucking casino games, like the tables and shit, saying, he's a fucking loser. He doesn't love me anymore. He brought me all the way to Vegas. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Hold on. Let me ask you. Do you even know where she's from?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would have sidestepped away. Like,
Security.
Yeah. Look,
So, yeah.
over there.
Cars.
And then turn around. Because that bitch can't describe you.
Well, but right.
He was a man.
But I'm like, I
Throw
can't leave her
somebody
out
in a
here
slot
like this.
machine and be like, I don't know.
She'll
that
be
bitch.
locked up, man. I can't leave her out here like this.
Yeah.
So
You're a good man.
I tell people, I go, she's just drunk. She's just drunk. She's
She
just
just
drunk.
hammered.
And she's just making this big ass scene to where everybody comes, and it's now everybody in the casino's paying attention to us.
Right.
And I'm like,
Yeah,
you
no
motherfucker. Finally, I play into it. I go, yeah. She goes, oh, I know you love me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like this delusional bitch, right? So we finally I finally get her back to her room. And when I get to the door, my friend and the other girl actually meet us there. And I'm just looking at him
How's
like,
everything going with you, man?
yeah, he's like, yeah, bro, thanks. I was like, you motherfucker,
I
you
hate
fucking owe me. So we're not at the door of the room yet. We're at the door of the, like in
hallway?
Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
they have
right,
different
right,
sections like
Yeah.
towers.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I left out this part. Before that, she's hungry. So we stop at fucking Smash Burger or some shit.
Yeah.
And she orders the not the vegan burger, but the whatever the shit is that comes without the bread. It's
lettuce
just,
wrap or
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah, it's just lettuce and
Keto.
yeah. And so she orders that. I order my food, and I'm like, maybe she'll sober up. The food comes up. I take the shit, sit it down. It's like, sit down, let's eat. So I'm eating, and she goes, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, what? She goes, they didn't put fucking bread on my burger. And I was like, you ordered it.
So she's dumb.
So she takes her shit back to the front and does this whole, she throws the shit. She's like, they didn't put fucking bread. Why does he get bread? They're like, ma'am, you ordered it.
They're used to it too.
Yeah, this is before we got to the floor where everybody's paying attention to us. So
you're already like,
So I meet them at the tower. We get them to the door. And then I tell my friend, I'm like, I could beat your fucking ass right now, dude. Like, there's no, like, our friendship is fucking tested right now. Like, I fucking don't like you right now.
I'm a real big proponent of never fighting your ass again.
Yeah. And he was like, dude, I'm sorry, man. Man, she was a good girl. I had fun and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I bet you fucking did.
Yeah,
So I'm steaming. We go back to our rooms and shit. I'm not talking to this motherfucker. This is how pissed I am. I'm not talking to him. The next morning, he's like, dude, for real, like, I'm sorry, man, blah, blah. I'm like,
Right.
I'm calmed down now. I'm like, it's not your fault, whatever.
You didn't know how crazy this was?
Yeah. So then we start laughing about the shit, talking about it.
Yeah.
And he was like, I can't believe that shit with the burger. So then we were like, you know what? We should get burger tattoos. So on our way to the fucking airport, he stopped and got a burger tattoo. I didn't have time because my flight was sooner.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm going to get a burger tattoo. I still haven't got it, but I got the spot for it. So my next tattoo is probably going to be a fucking burger.
Are you going to get like a big ass burger? What are you going to get? Like a greasy?
I may even get a burger without the fucking bread.
I was going to say, if you don't get a lettuce wrapped fucking burger.
Just to show, man, just that weird kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's what I get tattoos for. They tell a story.
Well, and like that's, much to her part, she was like, what are you like? Because when we first met, I was like fucking 17. I was like, I want to get tattoos. And like, she's like, for fucking what? And I'm like, this. And she's like, yeah, you shouldn't get a chain link fence for a fucking tattoo because you used to jump over them. Like, fucker. But like, yeah, there's a couple things I really want to get done. But I'm like, man, I just don't know about the fucking needles. But like, everyone's like, because you've seen me in the garage. I've cut my hands open. I've like sliced my shit and I'm like, okay, it's going to keep going about business for a little bit.
I don't like needles either.
It's not the same, man.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Getting a shot feels
Oh,
nothing like a tattoo.
No.
Dude. Well, and then like we were hanging out with another dude that I know that does tattoos, and he was like, I have everything on my bike right now. I will give you just a dot, just so you know what it feels like. I'm like, we're gonna put the dot at. He's like, I get to pick. Because his thing was, he's like, if I pick some on like the back of your hand or something like that, it's really easily covered up, or it looks like a mole.
You're that scared of needles?
No, it's just like, I don't like. It was like, it's like if when you're in high school and you're like, I'm ready to get laid, but then you're like, I don't know if I want to get laid by fucking fat patootie over here.
Torta?
Yeah.
You want to get laid by torta?
Yeah, but I
don't know. When I'm thinking about getting laid, I'm just like,
dick's gonna be getting wet.
I'm not thinking with this head.
My parents raised me differently than you.
My parents raised me.
This is true. No, like because when I was growing up, like Motorcycle Mania was the big shit on television, and like Pay Up Sucker, and I was like, so my sister used to do henna all the time, like for all of her fucking weird friends. So I had the Chester Bennington fucking flames and henna when I was in fucking middle school, and I was like, oh dude, I'm gonna get that when I get older. And then like I was talking to a buddy, and he was like, don't ever get your palm tattoo.
Fucking palms suck.
Especially for me, because I was
and it may not stay.
Yeah.
No, most of the time they don't.
Well, because I've been a mechanic, I was construction, and I do drafting for a living now. So like I can't have my hands fucked up that long. Like I gotta plan out a vacation where I'm like, I don't have to use my hands this whole time. But then I'm like, like for the longest time I was like, I could get one here. And like, and then I got a temporary. I got a real. Hold on, this is how dumb.
A temporary tattoo.
So
got the Cracker Jack box.
No. So I
so gay.
So I was trying to figure out if I wanted to have the pitchfork from the first or from Songs for the Deaf here or like up here. So there's a company that you because this is how dumb it was. They're like, high quality tattoos will last for like 2 months. I was like, all right. So I really wanted to like live with it and figure out if I wanted it here or what. So I put it here, and I had like people for like 2-3 days like, oh, you finally got one. I'm like, nope, it fucking comes off. And then
did you like it there though?
I did. I really did like it. And then on the album, it's red with the black pitchfork. I was just going to do a red ass pitchfork. I only had one person that was like, do not do a red pitchfork on you, because like there's a lot of implications that maybe you're part of this group, maybe you're part of that group. And I was like, because Rex, my dog, has pound numbers, so it's 188505. And I was gonna get his number tattooed on me, and everyone's like,
you get that down here.
Yeah, everyone's like, don't get it on your wrist, and then maybe not up here. Maybe you get it over here. And I'm like, yeah. So there's a lot of that thought that goes into that, and I just I haven't met the right artist yet.
It's all I'm hearing is excuses.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think you got to do that.
You're like a laundry list. You're like, and
yeah, we're gonna hold you accountable, man. When are you gonna get this?
Okay, I don't
Your
know.
first tattoo. No, like you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I keep
Like right
telling
now?
me that.
Yeah, like right now. Like, is it gonna be this month?
No, you broke this month. I just had to fucking
Next month?
Another excuse.
February?
What
March?
about before the end of the year? How about that?
No,
That's too much to
you
play
gotta
with.
nail
Yeah.
it down.
August is my birthday month. So I'll
Oh,
just go.
your birthday. There you go. August. So if you don't have
I was gonna actually do it for my birthday like 2 years ago, and I don't remember what happened.
which one's gonna be your first? The pitchfork?
No, it's gonna be Rex's paw print.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, like that's we don't have kids. That's my kid. I've had him for like 11 years now. So that motherfucker wakes me up in the middle of the night. He cost me a grip of fucking cash last year on fucking.
Yeah.
I thought he was
Dogs,
gonna die.
man. I got a couple.
Yeah, dude.
He's gonna get a paw print on his chest.
No, so I did.
He'll start wearing chains and shit. I'm a dog, baby. he's gonna tell the sheriff that I'm a dog, baby.
Next thing you know, you're gonna have a pit bull right next to it.
Yeah. I got that dog in me, girl.
Okay, hold on. So let me run it back real fast. So I went to high school with a guy. I was real tight with him in high school, and he's a nice guy, but he's weird as fuck. And he's like, his spirit animal is a wolf. And I remember
These fucking guys with the spirit animal shit,
dude,
man.
and he got fucking 2 paw prints on his fucking chest, and I was like, that looks shitty as fuck.
Yeah.
So I was talking to a couple people because I got Rex's like paw print and ink, so it's his actual paw print.
Mm-hmm.
And then one guy was like, "Nah, don't do it just as black, man. Like, do something else to it because it's gonna look stupid as fuck. You're gonna be like, and you're gonna want to cover it up. It's black and all that shit." So like, I had one guy that was like, "Do it as a skin color, like his coat of skin." So like, it's the paw print. What the fuck song is that?
When the dog is out, man. Come on, man.
See, a real dog knows.
You're gonna get this taken down because of that song.
Nah, man.
He's dead. His estate won't.
Hey. No. So check this out. With the tattoo thing, tell the artist what you're trying to do, man, and then they'll bring it to life.
Yeah.
You
and
won't
that-
have to figure all that shit out. You're overthinking it.
Well, and that was
way overthinking.
like the pitchfork. I was gonna do it, and then like one guy was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this, and this." I'm like, I didn't ask for that. I wanted this, and he wanted to do way too much shit. Like he was gonna do clouds and shit around. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
That's why you got to pick the right artist.
Yeah.
Like when I did my hands, Marcus, I didn't tell him how to do it.
Yeah.
I just told him what I wanted it to say.
Yeah.
And no shit, he took a marker and freehanded this.
God damn.
And when he did it, I was like, oh shit. I didn't even know what it looked. I trust him that much though.
Yeah.
So when he did it with like a marker, I didn't even know because I couldn't really see it like that. It wasn't dark.
Yeah.
So I just let him do it. And as it was coming to life, I was like, oh shit, that's dope as fuck.
Yeah.
August. All right.
So that's why you got to get a good artist.
yeah, that's the other thing too. Is like the first guy I picked, I was like, no.
Get a rainbow unicorn.
You know, maybe that's
Or
the
what
third
was that cat with the rainbow with the toast?
one. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I remember. the internet.
Non-cat or something
Man,
like that.
I might get the Chubby Boy logo, man.
Dude,
Dude, you can't get it before I get it.
Man, well, you better hurry the fuck up.
God damn it.
I may just be like, you know what? Just hit me with this.
Dude,
real
how
quick.
good would it
Hey,
be?
you know what? Mason will do it. I'm gonna send him a picture of this shit.
Yeah,
he'll do that shit today.
He's
I'll
like,
have this shit tomorrow.
Oh shit!
Fuck.
Oh shit!
you know, so we give out.
We
the
can have a
t-shirt.
tattoo party.
Oh fuck! I'm just like, don't do all the colors on me.
Yeah, dude,
Don't
he'll
do all
do
of
that
it.
shit.
So like when we were first starting the podcast out, you know, we were like, what are we gonna do? And like I was like, let's give out. We got the t-shirts made, so we've sold.
We got stickers made, got the t-shirts made.
Yeah.
It was
I
weird.
like this shit, man.
It was okay. So I haven't gotten to the. Is it Gentleman's Collective or is it Gent?
The
Collective?
Gents Collective.
Couldn't remember if it was full or not.
Yeah.
So I came and got that T-shirt from you last.
I
year.
forgot about that. Yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah, so I wear it every so often. You know? It kind of shrunk, so it doesn't look as good.
I need to bring you some more shit.
Yeah, because
Did it shrink? Or did
Yeah,
you
it shrank
shrink
and I expanded. Chubby Boy Magic. But so I don't know if this was. So how did you get into the Gents Collective?
Okay, so with that shit, man, there's a lot of motorcycle shit out.
And
Yeah.
and I guess what is the Gents Collective?
So I call it, the brand is TGC, right?
Right.
It stands for the Gents Collective.
Right.
But there's a lot of motorcycle brands and different sects of that out, right?
Yeah.
So you got your Harley shit, of course.
Right.
You know, it's just like your old school biker.
Right,
And then
right,
you got
right.
some of the little, you know,
can say it.
frizzy shit.
Yeah.
You know, that's like the cute shit that guys don't really ride bikes.
Yeah.
And then-
Right.
So, but I felt like
Harley America,
Yeah.
1908.
I felt like that there was really nothing to represent like the people that aren't pretentious, man. Just people that just like to ride and just
Right.
that are bikers. You know,
Yep.
I'm not that guy that goes to work, and it doesn't matter where I'm at. Even if I did work in a doctor's office, you know,
Right,
which I
right.
don't, but I'm not that kind of guy that's like, I wear the fucking Gap mannequin clothes Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Right.
And then on the weekend, it's like, let me throw my chain on and my fucking leathers and
Yep,
let me just
yep.
look mean with my cigar. It's like, dude, I
Yeah.
don't do that shit. Like this jewelry and shit, you know what I'm saying? I got like silver
Yeah,
shit on.
same.
And
I wear a hoodie most days.
yeah,
Yeah.
I wear more rings.
Yeah.
My fucking wallet chain.
Yep.
I wear that shit if I was going to church. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yep.
And so it's just like that's just me. That's my personality. And I mean, and all this shit is custom made. Like
So that's
Mothwing Metalworks,
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Rebecca.
Yep.
She does some good shit.
She
Yeah,
actually
she-
used to live around the corner.
Yeah, she created all my jewelry except for this.
Yeah.
Becca sometimes made this, but
Yeah.
Local. Yep.
Yep.
Local.
Well, I was
support local.
gonna tell you, you need to go check out Cheyenne Sky Studios, and you can make your own.
Here?
Hell yeah!
Oh, give me that info before.
I will.
we
I
leave.
will, because me and my wife did it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, super fun.
Oh,
chain.
I'm totally into that.
and it's
shit.
kind of
Yeah.
cool because just like it was a little on the spendy side, so it's not something you
not.
can do every. But you do silver, like we made silver and turquoise rings, and
What they run
for-
about?
it was less than 400.
That's not pricey, bro. I
No,
bought a
I mean,
cuff that was 500.
No, I know, but I mean for like, and it was like date night.
I got
you
you. I
know?
got you. I got you.
and
It's
so-
pricey for that.
So
yeah.
it's pricey for that, you know, where you going like, oh, dinner and movie, you're gonna
Yeah.
spend nowadays, you're gonna spend $100, but
right.
like, no, it was cool. It was
Yeah.
really cool, and so doing it yourself, like soldering everything up, and like,
Yeah, I definitely
like,
want to do that
you
shit.
pick out your stone, and all
Yeah.
this, and she's right down off, where they used to do H&H. What was that?
Hudson.
Yeah, Hudson and 8.
So she's right.
Which is why it's called H&A.
Right.
I was like,
Well, I couldn't. I was thinking Harvey, but I couldn't remember if it's Hudson or Harvey. But so she's right behind like Evoke, where
I like Evoke.
I forgot that's where she's at.
Yeah, she moved,
Yeah.
and so
What's it called?
it's called Cheyenne Sky Studios.
Okay.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out, man. I
Cheyenne
love supporting
Sky.
local, dude. I'm all about the
Yeah.
local shit.
And it's her and her husband, and they like actually. Like he does the lapidary where he gets the rough stone and like will cut it down and like polish it. And
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna
like,
do that.
Yeah.
dude, it's
My anniversary's coming up too, so I'm gonna do that shit.
yeah.
So, I just wanted to create some stuff.
Yeah.
That I liked, and if some other people liked it, then cool. I didn't even create it with the idea of anybody really just messing with it. You know what I'm saying? Just it was something I wanted to do, and I wore a hoodie out, and somebody saw it, and they were like, "Dude, where you buy that?" And I'm like, "This is my shit." And they were like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
And so, it kind of went from there. And I've sold quite a few shirts and hoodies here and in Texas for some reason.
Right.
Yeah, that was so because we hadn't. No, it wasn't last year. It was the year before when I got your shirt because I met you over at the Cigar Box. What's the name of that store over at 63rd May?
Oh, Tobacco Exchange.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Cigar Box is over in Midwest City. So you had started doing it, and I was really because my first thing was like, hey, you were super influential to one of my favorite passions in life.
Yeah, man.
And
Thanks
good-
for the support too, by the way.
Well, yeah, and I was like, so like you put shirts out. I was like, hey, do you got extra fat? Because I need an extra fat shirt. And you're like, yeah, I got you. And so I was like, let me know a dollar amount. We'll come up there and get it. We hung out for a little bit.
Yeah.
I've wore that shirt quite a bit, and people ask about it. I'm like, go follow them on Instagram over here. You were really doing a lot of stuff with it for a little bit. So, and then, but what was funny whenever we started doing the podcast and we had shirts made because it matched the t-shirts and all that stuff and the hoodies, like it was weird because I was like, the thing is we wanted to have the podcast to talk about what we're doing and hanging out with our buddies and all that stuff. Inadvertently started a fucking apparel brand because we have people that have the shirts that I'm like, oh, do you listen to the podcast? No, I like the logo.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Told you, man,
And-
that logo, I'm getting that tattoo.
No, and we'll
God damn it.
Not necessarily the chubby boy, whatever, but the guy with the
Yeah.
cigar. Because
Yeah,
I love cigars
Yeah.
too, by
yeah.
the way.
Yeah.
Well, and when I
Not a marijuana cigarette.
yeah, when I drew it up because
Oh, you
it's-
drew that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
What?
yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I need to
I-
get with you too. I
I
need
have
some.
a graphic design degree also.
Yeah, design some shit like that for the TGC brand.
And-
we need
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So
For real.
and then this
Collab.
Is, this
Yeah,
is
there you go.
the CBM. Is a throwback to Elvis.
Yeah. Take care of business. I noticed that when I saw it, man.
Oh no,
TCB.
this- so-
It's so weird how many people have no fucking idea what that's about.
How the fuck can you miss that?
Well, and when he
because
first did it,
the
people
fuck?
don't Elvis.
when he
they're-
first did it, I was like, is that from Elvis? And I didn't say anything at first. And he was like, yeah. And he was explaining to me. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I wasn't wrong. But yeah, like,
But the dude was because we were chubby boys. So I'm like, I was kind of racking my brain, and it's like I'm old enough that I remember Kip's Big Boy. When we had it here, and you had across the country Bob's Big Boy, or
Yeah.
there was that chain of restaurants
Yeah.
everywhere, and so. Like I started doing it and threw in the tattoos and the cigar, and it's
Yeah.
like, because I'm all tatted up, and then
so the tattoos were for him. Cigarette was for me. Because
The cigar?
yeah, it's actually a cigarette.
Oh, is it?
It's
Yeah.
actually a cigarette. Yeah,
What?
because I've gotten called freight train, smokestack. Because if you see me out, I usually got a cigarette with me,
Damn.
or I'm
Yeah.
carrying a cigarette.
Smokestack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like there's times where I'm like, I fucking power through a pack of cigarettes. Like I got
What?
yeah.
And then it was like where I was doing it, and I did the pointy teeth, and because I was
Because I
first,
fucked up teeth.
I was doing doing just like normal, and I was like, man, it didn't look right,
Yeah.
and I was fucking around with something, and then when I did them, I was like, man, I really like the way that looks, because everybody's like, well, it kind of looks scary, and I'm like, yeah, sometimes
scary.
we're kind of scary,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
but
like, you
but it
asked
was
for the
like,
fucking thunder, where you're gonna get it.
but
yeah,
yeah, no, it ended
Yeah.
up coming out, and then like you said, we'll be out, and we got bicycling jerseys with it on. We
So-
got our t-shirts, and people are like, "Oh my god, I love that!"
it's so fucking weird. So I was out at Cars and Coffee one morning, and I'm wearing this hoodie right after we got them, and I pull up, and I have your shirt on underneath my hoodie. So I got there, it was fucking nippy. It was cold, so I'm wearing both of them. And so I got the hoodie on, and everybody's like, "Oh man, I love your fucking hoodie." And I'm like, "Yeah, $40, man. I got you a hoodie all day. Just send me your information. Like, we'll get you one today or tomorrow, or
Yeah.
whenever he gets around to making them." So I got everybody asking about that. So I'm at Cars and Coffee for like 3 hours. I'm hanging out with all my fucking car buddies. And then, so it gets hot. I pull my fucking hoodie off and I'm walking around in your shirt and everyone's like, what shirt is that? Is that another shirt you have? I was like, nah, it's my homie. Like, where it goes. So I was like, he's got an apparel line and like, go check it out. Like, he's talking about doing hats. He's talking about doing this. It's like, no, support these guys because they're local and that goes back into making more product.
Yeah.
That goes back into making more cool stuff. Because when we were talking about it, I was like, oh, like, what's the idea behind it? You're like, I just wanted casual shit for.
Yeah, just for people that like the culture. You know, and in the whole Gentleman's Collective, which again, that was something for me, which I thought, people are kind of slow sometimes. So you don't know if they pick up on whatever. But the whole thing came from if you're the I love everything gasoline. So motorcycles and cars, old school cars, Chevelles, fucking Camaros, fucking El Caminos, and the back in the day, the gentleman start your engine. Yeah. The idea of a gentleman's bet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like
gentleman's duel.
Yeah. So it's the Gentleman's Collective. It's the guys that are rooted in that kind of old school, mentality in that sense when it comes to gasoline dreams, if that's what you want to call it. That's all I like to call it.
Well, I mean, things were agreed upon. It was a handshake. Or we're gonna race.
Yeah, man.
Like there was no paperwork or this or that, or it's like you're doing it on a handshake, or you're gonna honor your word. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, and if you think about it, like back in the day, that was the guy's thing. Every garage in America, you'd have some guy in there tooling on whatever he thought was the best car ever.
Yep,
that was the collective of gentlemen. Like your dad had a buddy come over, help him, and he'd go over and work on his truck. He'd come over and work on his hot rod was going to be, his project car. You know what I mean? So that's the idea behind it.
Yeah,
pretty much.
The original man cave was a garage.
There you go, man. Well, and so that's why it's based around that type of stuff. If you look at some of the pieces like the Ride Like Hell, that's obviously motorcycle inspired.
Right.
Yeah. But there's some other ones that say stuff like I got the better luck next time. It's like a playing card.
Yep, right.
But it's better luck next time because you lost the race.
That's the shirt I have.
Yeah.
It's better luck next time because I had a bunch of people that were like, oh, did you get that because of an accident? I was like, well, no. But but it's a really killer design on that shirt.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
It's and that's what it's from. It's better luck next time. You lost the race.
Right.
And a lot of those guys sometimes will race for slips, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like you lost your car. Better luck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was, so the first time I went over 100 miles an hour in a car was in the farm truck back in the day. Like I was a little kid. Like
in the actual farm truck? Like Asian and wow.
Asian farm truck. Like so we were building a motor so it's a whole thing, but we were building a motor for Big Chief, and then he kept going like, oh, you gotta meet all these guys. And my dad's like, I don't give a fuck. My dad was just over it. He's just older. He's like, he's in his 40s at that point. He's like, I've got a kid. I got 2 kids. I got a wife that I fucking hate. She hates me. He's
the American dream, man.
No shit.
Can't wait to hate my wife. No.
Fucking one day. God damn it. And fucking sheriff's coming to town. But so these guys were all at street racing, and so we're all hanging out and but they were talking about racing for pink slips and stuff. And my dad's like, I remember in the 60s and 70s, like drag strip, because so when you were talking about Big Boy, Kit's Big Boy, my dad's big story was he was street racing in front of Northwest Classen, and he fucking gap-levies somebody, like just took him right to fucking town.
Right.
Damn.
And then cops are chasing him, and so he hides behind the Kit's Big Boy, like in his little Nova.
Damn,
right.
I like
he's
that,
like, because it was
man.
big enough to hide my car, so he was like, he's always telling that story, and I was like, man, so like we had talked about it before. I'd told him that. So when he was talking about that, I was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. And I showed it to my dad, and he was like, okay, that's cool. but he was talking about pink slips, and then they were talking about pink slips, and, because this is like fucking 2002, 3 in there, and then they get on pinks and all that shit. But I was like, that was where I came up from, was all the automotive stuff. And then the motorcycling thing definitely gets into cars are who you are. That's a way to describe yourself. But motorcycling really is like even one step further into that.
I feel like that too.
Because it's one thing to have a high horsepower car on the street or a low rider or something you've done a lot of effort into, but it's a whole other thing where you're like, oh, we all collectively decided that today we could die.
Yeah. That's why
grandma did not pay attention when she signaled.
So that shirt that you got, if you remember, it says cheek death on the front. That's why it had that on there. Because it's like every time we get on those bikes, it's not the same as getting in those cars.
No.
Every time you get on those bikes, man, it's like you made it back home again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You cheated death today.
Yeah.
And another thing I respect about that old school is that those guys built those cars. They worked on them. It wasn't like, oh, I got a bunch of money, let me go buy
a Fireball 500 from fucking Ryan
No,
Martin.
man, those guys put blood, sweat, and tears into that shit, and so that's why they had so much pride in them. That's why they wiped them down every day and cleaned them up. It's like, man, do you know how many years and much money and time I put into this car?
I've been stacking groceries for fucking 14 months to pay for this shitty curl or candy paint job.
You're seeing more of a resurgence of that now with the built not bought.
Oh yeah.
But I think that's one thing where I really like the chopper culture.
Oh yeah.
Because of it is pure fabrication.
Yeah, it's like the Mama Tried.
Yeah. There is not, every bike out there it tells a story.
Yes.
It is, that is your story. Or whoever built it.
Yes.
That is their story.
That's why I got into the motorcycle culture. That's what the old school Harleys remind me of. It wasn't this, let me go buy a CVO with the orange paint job. It was like,
let me get a Road Glide and put 2 LP6s on it.
No.
Well,
you have 124 kit.
It's like my Sportster. When I bought it, it was stock.
Yeah.
And I had a vision in my mind. I wanted to do
rainbows.
Like an old school chopper, but I didn't want to chop it. Like I didn't want to chop the neck and rake it, and like I wanted it to be rideable, basically.
Right.
And so I got it paint, fixed it, did some stuff to it, and like so I've had it made. I've got it to where it is now, where like that's what I wanted.
That's your vision.
And so it's like, it's funny because people will be like, oh, you need to do this. And I'm like, no,
it's where I need it.
I know. That's what this is how I want it.
Yeah. I know a guy that lives in Denver, man, that has an old, I don't know if it's I don't know which Harley it is. I need to check it out again. Panhead, or I can't remember, but he calls it the Lizard King. It's yellow. It's like that old vintage yellow.
Right.
Has a little bit of white in it. And so in the seat is black lizard.
Okay.
It has a Springer front end. It's a chopper. It has the pipes that sweep up.
Yeah.
And then on his gas tank,
love those
in the middle of his gas tank is remember how they used to put the little dead animals in amber? It's
in that resin.
It's resin. His tank is yellow, but it's kind of carved out, and there's resin poured inside, and there's a lizard with
some of the
love for it.
Some of the choppers,
super dope.
Some of the
dual little stack tic tac headlight.
Some of the chopper tanks are insane at what they're doing, where they're like chopping them and putting stuff in there.
Yeah.
There was one that we saw where they cut the sides off the tank.
Yes.
And so it was flat sides, and then they put resin on, and then they put the logo on the resin, and then resined over that. So you had like a floating logo.
Oh shit.
So as you shine a light across it, you see the shadow drop down, and you're like, what magic is this? But it's like, dude, some of the things, the artistry and the creativity behind it, it's like, get the fuck out of here. That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's what I fell in love with the motorcycle culture.
Yeah,
it's that part. I got a guy that's got a 2001. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean, and it's not just choppers. It's like you get into the performance bikes where it's like the engine. I mean, that's your art.
Right.
It can be
anything, just your creation.
Like it's
something you couldn't buy off the shelf.
Yeah,
the turbo kits and stuff that you're seeing on the new Road Glides and all that stuff, where they're like, I might have done this and this, but I got it anodized, or like Donnie's FXR with the Chacos, and all that stuff. It's your personalization well beyond means.
Yeah. I got a guy that's got a 2001, I believe, Shadow 600 that I'm about to buy from him, and I'm about to chop it up. Yeah, I'm about to chop it up
when you're ready. When you're ready, I'm coming over there with.
No, seriously, I'm chopping it up here like in probably about a month.
Okay.
So I'll call you when I pick it up.
Yes.
Content. But do you remember? Do you remember Chris?
Yeah.
Slappy. Do you remember that Dyna he had? I don't know if you saw it. He had a white lowrider Dyna.
Right. Yeah.
With the fucking FXR bubble fairing.
Yeah.
And then he had his fucking engine and everything else was gold.
Yes.
And on his fucking timing cover, he had fucking Johnny Cash with the 2 middle fingers. Baddest fucking lowrider I've ever seen in person, man.
So the first time I saw it, I was like, I've never been. It's like when you're like, I could think about a Harley today.
That
I
shit
really
was,
could think about a Harley today.
That shit was sexy as fuck. And he ended up selling it, which I begged him not to. Shout out to Chris if he's listening. He misses that bike, I know, because I miss it too. His wife misses that bike.
Yeah.
But man, that's what I mean. And he slaved over that bike. He spent time, and that's what I've done with the Road King. That's what made me do that. It had the Road glide fairing on it, and it just was kind of covered up. And I was like, this is my style. I'm gonna strip this shit down and do what I do. So now I threw like some mini apes on and all this kind of shit and my floorboards. And now I'm tweaking that shit. So by the time I'm finished with it, you know what I mean?
Well, and that's, coming from custom cars and stuff, like we were talking to Mike Cook and like, in Bespoke, like how many thousands of hours do they have in that car? Like
almost 2.
Yeah. And like, it's, it's a 59 Impala that has, it's 58 with 59 fender emblems and, it's all this stuff. And it's
almost a resto mod because it's got modern features, but it's a throwback. It's beautiful.
It's insane.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But that's the thing when you get into custom cars. Like, I found my first car when I was 12. I've had it ever since I bought it. Mm-hmm. Never gonna get rid of it. I've done all these little things to it, but it's super hard to do that many custom touches to a car. Like if you're not well endowed in the money department, like you can do a lot of stuff to it, but you're still it's piecemealed.
Yes.
But then
where's J.C. Whitney when you need him?
Fuck that catalog. They lied to me. It's universal fit for every vehicle. Fuck them. But like, on my motorcycles and stuff, like even if, like it sounds dumb, but like on my FJ, I haven't done a lot to it. Like I've done dumb, usable things for me on it. But then like my sticker collection's on it. Like I have stickers from all my favorite bands. I have stickers from all my buddies, like race shops and stuff. Not a crazy custom thing on it. But then on my KZP, I was like, oh, dude, I want to do this color change and that. I want to do this, and this. Well, it's a lot easier to do it to a bike.
Yeah, than it is car.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can paint a fucking bike with a rattle can.
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing.
Everybody talked me out of it. But but I was like, it's a lot. Like when you got into like the pineapple cuts on the Harley jugs and stuff like that, that's, a lot of people were doing them. But
we just talked you out of it because we have really good friends who do really good paint.
Yeah. Well,
that's smart.
Yeah. No, and Cal did what I wanted, and I didn't have to go back and redo it like 90 times because I was like, I'm gonna do it fucking 48,000 times. But
well, I got a buddy, Eric Colvin. Shout out to Colvin Motorcycles, man, off of 10th and Ann Arbor.
Yeah,
you know what that is. He fabricates everything, and he builds fucking flat track, which that's one of the bikes I want, a flat track.
Flat,
and he keeps sending me pictures because like, you need to get a flat track. Next come out race at Pink's.
Yeah,
and so I'm definitely gonna get a flat track, but it's so hard for me. I couldn't buy, even the new bikes are nice, man. Like I said, if I was just gonna buy it just to strictly ride it and in a couple years trade it up, I could see that. Yeah. But being around Eric and working with him so much on all my bikes, that's the only person I really trust to touch my bike. And James.
Yeah.
It's hard to not do that when you know you have access. Like he fabricates everything. I bought some new shocks for my fucking lowrider.
Yeah.
And they were too big, so they kind of went in a little bit.
Yeah.
And kind of snapped one of the bolts for the struts.
Yeah.
And I took it to a shop. He fabricated some brand new ones that fit. It looks like it was off the floor.
Yeah.
And people would see it and be like, where the fuck, Harley, did you get this from? And I'm like, bro, this fabricated. One of my friends got a new front, the big fat tire kit on one of his.
Yeah.
And the brake adapters they didn't have. He fabricated some just from scratch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he wanted to paint them and make them pretty. And my friend goes, man, those are sexy like they are. Just leave them alone. Leave them rough. Leave them. Yeah. And when people see them, they're like, where the fuck did you get those brake calipers?
Yep.
And so there's just something about when you make a one-off, it's the only one of one, man.
Oh, yeah.
And so when you see a badass bike like that Lizard King, you're like, damn.
Well, and so we should introduce you to our friends Shelby and Brian over at the Chop Shop. Because Shelby does a lot of the maintenance, but he does some custom fab work. And then Brian does most of the custom fab work, but then some of the maintenance.
Okay.
And like so growing up, Motorcycle Mania, Orange County Choppers, I mean, whatever it is. But you know, seeing Indian Larry, all those guys.
Oh,
Like, they're
yeah.
just building
Yeah,
all
yeah.
this insane shit, and then I never got to translate that to anything because my dad didn't have that fabrication talent, and so you're always dreaming about stuff, and then you go meet like I could not. I was like when I met Brian the first time, I was like, I don't know how to make you not be weirded out by this, but like you're one of my heroes. And he was like, why? And I'm like, El Flaco, and he's like, oh yeah, I built that bike forever ago. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
but that bike's the shit. Like, if I won the lottery tomorrow, I don't know how much money it would take to get that out of Brian's hands, but it would be definitely worth it. And like every time I go in there, we're always looking at he's building some hardtail chopper. Or he's
Yeah.
like, oh, I built this and did that. I'm like,
I mean, Orange County was goofy as shit, but
Yeah.
what?
yeah,
But
They were.
But
They put out some good shit.
they put out some good shit, and watching them build, like for me, it was like watching them fabricate a tank, you know, and they would do like, oh, to fit the bike, we're gonna make this hexagon coffin tank that
they
looks.
didn't do a lot of coffins, but they did a lot of the concaves.
No,
Yeah.
I
didn't know.
but it's like
Yeah.
watching like not the drama for ratings, but like watching some of the fab, and it because it was like the design process, and then actually watching their employees
Mhm.
do the fab
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, it's the who's the crew that's coming in
Yeah.
and taking care of all this
Yeah.
stuff. But
Fabbing, to me, the fabrication is a fucking art.
Yeah,
in and of
it
itself.
is.
And it's amazing. The people that do it, it's funny because most of the ones I've met are like, yeah, one, it was born out of necessity, but they're like, oh, I mean, I needed this and nobody had it, so I made it.
yeah,
You
Yeah.
know, and you're like, that's really cool.
Well,
They're
that's what I
like-
love about
They're
it.
like,
Yeah.
it's all right. It's
well, like
But think about that. You get a bike. Like I said, if
oh no, I've
you,
tried.
you buy Street Glide, everybody's fucking Street Glide is exactly the
Yep,
same
yep.
except
Black
for color.
Harley.
Except for color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I threw some bars on it, and they feel like that's not fabric. That's fucking customization.
Well, and
Yeah.
we get into this a lot with different buddies where they're like, "Oh, that's not a builder." I'm like, "Well, he's a customizer."
yeah,
It's like back in the day, if you had
like fucking what's his name, Roland Sands.
yeah, he's a customizer.
Yeah.
but he's
Fucking
built
overpriced bullshit. But
like
anyway,
he's built some shit back in the day, but like
back when he was good. Yeah.
yeah, but like back when his
Sorry, Roland.
he's like personal shout out. Roland's gonna call me after this.
Yeah.
But it's the assembly customization versus I actually built this, that, and the other on it. It's like, man, I used to roll with people all the time. Oh, I built my Honda. No, you bought a bunch of shit off of eBay. You put
Both
it
on
together.
scale.
But like, that was always something like I knew exactly what turbo mine was on my car, and they'd be like, it's a stage 3 turbo on my Viper. I'm like, what size is it? And they're like,
Stage
"Oh,
3.
Stage 3. I'm like, is
Stage
that,
3.
it's like 60 millimeter, 70 millimeter.
Stage
Yeah,
3.
man.
Yeah.
That's why the fabrication part, like, again, you have a one of one. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And it's your vision, right?
Yep.
You have this. You pull this bike out, and when everybody's like, "Damn, what the fuck?" It's like, if you don't buy this bike off me, you'll never have this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what the
Yeah.
best part about fabrication, or car,
Yeah.
or truck, or that type
Or
of shit.
even like guitars. I have a
Oh,
buddy
yeah.
that distresses guitars for a living.
Yeah,
Like, that's
yeah.
all he does.
And I'm a huge fucking fan of one-on-ones type of shits.
Yeah.
Like right now,
Mhm.
I'm a big watch guy too. But right now, Belova has these fucking. They brought back the little vintage watches. I forgot the model of it, but they have they partnered up with the company, and they are only making like 718 of this.
Such
one
a
of them.
bizarre number to begin
Yeah.
with.
Well, it's because it's the area code for the Brooklyn city.
Okay.
One of them's a tiger eye. One of them's some kind of onyx shit.
Okay.
And then the other one is a turquoise, which I love turquoise.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's only 718 of those. I'm really debating getting one of those. But it's like if you don't, they're done. Once
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
done, it's
Yeah.
718 and
Yeah.
it's done. And that's
Yeah.
it's just it's nice to have things that were made like that were built to last, made really well.
Yep.
And there's not a billion of
I
them
have-
out there.
Like I have so I'm a watch guy too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. So I have.
I just got my first automatic the other day.
So I
Yeah.
have. like,
Seiko?
No.
Citizen?
It's from not Australia. It's from Alaska. We bought it up there when we were on vacation.
Nice. I
Yes,
need to check it out.
I
I'll
have-
show you in a little bit.
I have like a Breitling and
big money.
I've
Oh, that's that chubby boy magic big money.
No, this is old, but
sponsored.
but
He's definitely OnlyFans in it. He's got a bright.
Yeah.
and
He told me how he got it. It's
I
really
got
close.
a Breitling, a Tudor, you know,
I'm looking at it to side. So
yeah, and Rolex, Omega. I've got.
you got all those?
Oh, yeah.
Damn, man.
And
I can give you his address too.
He's got a lot.
and
Look, hey, you guys want to make some money?
I mean, I'm wearing a tag right now.
Oh, tag. Hey, I was looking at the
Dude,
tag.
but
Listen.
I will tell you what. Who does the timing for F1?
Yeah, tag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the story behind how it came.
You know, I want the Porsche, right?
Yeah, no, I know,
Yeah.
but it's like, you know, the Hoyer family, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like all the history behind it. But I like, for me, like the automatics. I dig automatics. They don't tell shit for time, you know.
Do not try to be.
I like the mechanical.
Like that $20 Timex at Walmart will tell better time,
Yeah.
but the craftsmanship.
Yeah.
And
That's
like
where I'm
the
at.
building, and
Yeah.
to me, it's like, you know, all those parts and putting them together, and it actually works, and like, you know, that precise for what it is.
Have you seen the process of that?
Yeah.
How hard it is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
No
then you
shit.
can appreciate it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
it costs a
Yeah.
fucking fortune.
Yeah.
Right
Well,
now,
like,
man.
you go on my Instagram. One of them is it's some dude in China who tears them apart and like rebuilds them,
Mm-hmm.
and is like putting everything back together and like in the ultrasonic bath. And
He's like, by the way, it tells time by like 8 hours off. He's like, I don't know how it works.
I'm actually 3. It's that Belova I was telling you
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
the Tissot and the tag. So I'm
Yeah.
like, which one should I get? Which one should I get?
yeah.
So I've always liked that stuff. Like I went to high school with a bunch of guys who were like, oh, you gotta get these Jordans. And I'm
Now
like,
Squirrel's gonna come in here and say, I'm in my G-Shock. No.
no.
I got this really cool G-Shock. It glows in the dark.
Hey man, it's you to tailor. But like, so I didn't know shit about fuck when it comes to watches. So we
Hey,
were.
you can get that Swatch Blancepan collab.
Hey, they got a
They
fucking
actually got one that's pretty fucking cool.
yeah, and they got a
Talking shit now.
collab with
Omega.
Omega. Yeah, I want one of those, man.
Yeah, the To the Moon and
I
the
got like 4 of them.
Yeah.
I want all of those
Yeah.
bitches. They're like
Yeah.
$280
Yeah.
a piece. I'm like, would I be overkill to get all of those?
it's like polymer ceramic, and I mean, you saying plastic.
yeah.
Yeah. So when we were on our honeymoon, me and the sheriff, we were in Switzerland, and I was like, I want a Swiss Army knife, and I want a.
Wait a minute. Y'all were in Switzerland?
So we went to Europe for 30 days for our honeymoon.
Whoa,
You
so we
calm
got the
down
wrong-
with your fucking Rolex over
We
there.
got the wrong guy with the money. This guy's got the money.
yeah.
So I don't have
Fucking-
watches.
he's like,
I have
I'm in the
memories.
Swiss Alps with my lady.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then he's going to talk about when he was in Lima at Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
I mean, we have traveled the world. And,
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, he's
so-
going to one up you.
No, I just we don't. I don't have like really. I grew up in the hood, so like nothing should be sacred. Like if it gets taken off your wrist, it's because you didn't need it anymore.
Yeah.
So
And then he's like, me and the queen were having tea.
Yeah.
she was dead by the time I was there. No, but like, so we were over in Lucerne, and I was like, I really wanted a Swiss Army knife, and the guy was like, oh, this was the blade that they get when they get signed up to the army, and I'm like, all right, and he's like, do you want the watch they get whenever they get signed up to the army? I was like, I never really had a nice watch. How much is it? And he tells me it's like, $100 or something. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So get it. So I'm hard on everything I wear. My shoes wear out in 3 months. My watches usually fall the fuck off my hand. I'm like, all the time my wife's like, why aren't you wearing your watch? Because it's gonna fucking get lost. It's gonna get destroyed on my wrist. So I had that watch. I wore it every day for a year, and I was like, man, I want to be a watch guy. Because I had a guy I worked
Yeah.
with that I was like, he was a watch guy, and I kept going like, I got this one in Lucerne, and he's like, I ordered this one off of eBay, and I did all this research on it, and I kept going like, I talked to the dude that made this fucking watch, and so.
Yeah.
Then he was like, "Oh, I got this one." So he got this one that matches the Ford GT from Le Mans. From
Oh,
65.
shit.
And I was like, "Oh, fuck!" And I keep going. Like, I really want one of those goddamn watches because I keep looking them up. How much was this goddamn thing? $200 is what I thought it was gonna be. $65 off Amazon. Start looking for it. Gonna
What?
order it. I wanted one so bad. I got one. Was fucking really wanted it put on my wrist. I wore it for about 3 minutes before my wrist was like breaking out. I'm like, nah, I'm not a watch guy. Can't do watch.
See,
I don't know
what
like,
you should have done
Oh, shit.
was when you were traveling the world,
Yep.
when you were over in Kyoto,
Gallivanting.
there is a shop in Kyoto where you can build
Yes.
your own watch. And you like when
I
I,
looked
say
at the
build,
guys that you could build your own chopsticks with.
You can customize
Yes.
your own watch because you pick out
Nice.
the face, the body,
He told me this after we got back, not before we went over there. By the way, I'm just gonna tell you that.
Same thing. If you like guns, you can go to the guns factories and.
He's
okay.
retarded when it comes to guns.
Dude, I love a lot of cool things. I'm not an expert in any one of those things. I love photography. I love cars. I'm an expert in cars and motorcycles to an extent. But I'm like way too much knowledge to know. Like I'm reading about, you want to know something about history, I'll tell you all about history, but like, he's like, I have this 1911 over here. I'm like, what the fuck's a 1911?
You want to know everything about a local band that has 12 fans?
I know everything about them now.
He's like,
he knows.
They were born here. And
shout out to Chris, shout out to Garrett, shout out to Jason, shout out to Ross. But yeah, like the watch thing is really interesting because I'm like, there's so much that goes into the watch where I'm like, how much? Because I thought guns were really expensive too. And guns are not as expensive as I was led to believe.
I mean, some are.
Some are. But like the watch thing, I was like, somebody was like, oh man, that's a dope watch. I was like, well, how much is it? And you're like, $100. I'm like, fuck it, I can have 4 of those.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there, like the Seikos and the Seiko 5s, you know. And it's like,
Yeah, man.
Do you have a
The Grand
stopwatch?
Seikos.
The Grand Seiko. Well, I'm not even, but like the Seiko 5s are like a couple $100 or $150. They're not much as far as you can get a good one that like goes with a bunch of outfits or what different outfits and stuff.
You
and,
also assume I have outfits.
I mean, yeah, I know.
Yeah. I wear the same shit every day.
You really do.
Yeah. It looks like Daria just came to life.
Damn. Bro said Daria.
Yeah, dude, it's bad. But like that was the watch thing, is like I really wanted to get into watches for a little bit, and then that Swiss Army one I wore forever, and then like one day I just like, I won't wear it out. And I'm like, when I bought that watch up in Alaska, I was like, I really want one of these things. It looks cool as shit.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, I never wear that thing.
I don't wear my Breitling as much. It stays on the winder most of the time. But
Undrell, what's your most expensive watch you think you have? What's your address for the homies? No, I'm kidding.
Hey, I don't care if they come to my house. I got guns. So unless you're ready for that trip to the ER, don't even fucking try that shit. I got a brand new 357 too.
Oh.
Yeah, man. I've been ready to
Nice.
pull that out outside of the range. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get a little downrange practice whenever you're just
Yeah. Be like, yeah. Oh man, probably right now it probably would be, it's called the Turtle.
Is it the one that has the it's turtle because of the face of it?
Yeah, I think it's Seiko Turtle, Sea Turtle, something like that. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Pure sea turtle. Super rare in most countries. You can't
No,
even get it.
it's not. It's just a decent, it's just a nice, decent watch.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, it's nice though.
Yeah, a couple
It's
$100
just
for
not,
it.
yeah. I'm trying to get to the other level though, like where
Dude,
I mean,
met
it took
guy
me a
that-
long time.
Yeah.
And like
No, he was telling me about it. He's like,
my Rolex was I got given that. Yeah, that was my
Oh, really?
That was my
Yeah.
grandfather's. So it's
oh wow.
it's
Yeah.
it's a
he stole it from a guy.
63 Oyster. So, it's like more of a dress watch.
Oh, so
and
it's like, is it like a 30 millimeter,
it's
one of
a-
the smaller ones?
Yeah, it's a 35.
Yeah.
That
And
was something that
so-
was weird too, is figuring out what sizes I wanted.
Yeah, 40 millimeters is like what I like. But my Breitling,
I'm a
What-
40 millimeter.
my Breitling was my first, like I bought that. And that was my first big boy purchase. And I bought
OnlyFans
that.
got him good.
No, this is way before OnlyFans. This was like 95. And I paid right around $4,000 for it in
Jesus
95. And then,
You're like, why don't you have a Harley, squirrel? Because I bought
The-
a watch.
well, and here's the thing. Every 3 to 5 years when you send it off to have it, the maintenance done on it, that's $300 to $700. So it's not like it's a one-time bam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a good investment though.
Yeah,
Kind of like a Porsche. If you get the right models, let's say that.
Yeah,
you
I
get
will
the right
say,
models.
so like my Breitling,
928 GTS for real.
my
You're coming up.
my Breitling, I wear it. It's not a vault queen. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
going to sit. my Rolex, I don't really wear that one except on special occasions, but
He wore it to my birthday last year.
a lot of my watches I do wear.
Like
It's
your
like
tag?
like the tag. This one is my daily. I'm kind of hard on it. So if it's like it's all scratched, my band's all scratched, I don't give a fuck. You know what? I mean,
They'll buy another one.
no.
Printing money over there.
But
He's
Chubby
got that
boy-
native cash.
Chubby boy checks are coming in.
I will say if I'm doing, if I'm working on cars, I will take it off and put it in the pocket, and but for the most time, I have it on. And I just got in the habit of wearing the watches. Is it being in the military? It's like
Yeah.
I have a pocket knife. Used to always carry a lighter.
EDC
and a
type shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and like that was so my plumber this week that was working on my rental property for me. Like what he spent on one of his watches, I just paid for plumbing, so 3 people could take showers. Thank fuck. But
Fuck those people, man. You need to
Fuck
watch.
those people. That's what I'm saying.
You got to be able to tell how much time has been since that dirty asses
And
took
what
a
did
shower.
you needed to give water for those people to shower because when you went in there, you found a
I don't
mason
need.
jar.
No, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. No, we're not talking about that. I'll tell him in a little bit.
Oh shit! What?
Hey man. Hey dog. Let me know the sensor next time. I'll tell you in a little bit. All right. So
Damn, yo.
It was a candle.
fucking Jesus Christ, mopping.
But he thought it was something
Hey,
else.
No,
I'll
I'll tell you the story in a little bit.
No names are being said. They're not going to listen.
They know the podcast. They listen to the podcast.
They do.
Hey,
They're like, hey, he's talking about us. Hey, fill up another one.
Hang on a second.
Fill up
Do
another
not,
jar.
do not.
Hang on a second.
Apparently, he loves it. No.
How you doing, girl?
Thank God. I was like, where the fuck is... So anyway, me and my plumber, I was like, how bad is this about to get for my reputation?
Hey.
Anyway.
I need to be the third friend.
Okay. I don't know what that one means.
Whoa.
Anyway, so I don't
Sounds like that needs to be a fourth. What's going on
I
here?
don't know. So me and the plumber are talking out front, and so the night before I'm digging my fucking arm underneath the slab of the house. That's why the other reason why I don't have watches and shit. Like I'm physically trying to cut off the water supply so they can have water and shit.
Just take it off.
You think how many times have you been watching me work in fucking dress clothes, man? I don't think about that shit. Anyway, so I'm outside the next morning talking to the plumber about how much this is about to cost me. And he's like telling me dollar amounts. And I break out my cigarette tin, I break out my Zippo, and he's like, damn.
That's another thing I like Zippos. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Side
No,
note.
I'm a big Zippo guy now. That's my thing. I won't have watches, but I have a bunch of Zippos. So break out my cigarette tin, which is a pinup tin, break out a cigarette, and then I zip.
Pinup 10. I like that shit.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah, dude. If you're going to smoke like a classy man.
There you go, man.
So, like, I break out my tin, break out my Zippo, and I'm smoking, and he's like, can I bum one of your American Spears off you? And I was like, yeah, man. Yeah, because...
Yeah, 10% off, motherfucker.
Yeah,
These are expensive ass cigarettes.
Yeah, no
You
shit.
see, this came out of a pinup 10.
Yeah. You think this was cheap?
Right.
And so I hand him a cigarette, and we're bullshitting back and forth. He's like, I've been wanting to get into tins. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, and what about the Zippo? I'm like, dude, the Zippos are just, it's not really that expensive. Like, most of your Zippos are gonna be like under $50. So we start talking about it, and he's like, oh man, that's really cool. It's this, and that was where I got him. He was like, this is the affordable watch game for me.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I can have my cigarette tin that changes out. I can have my Zippo that changes out every day. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I guess I have a watch thing now. But then he was like, why is your Zippo so purple? I'm like, well, it's anodized actually.
Because I'm gay.
Yeah.
I like purple. Purple's my favorite color. But yeah.
Nothing's wrong with it, man.
It's
Oh.
God, that was gonna be so bad.
yeah.
Are you trying to tell us something?
I mean, it's like it keeps going. The microphone keeps going down.
Hey, this is where you insert the ED commercial here. Are you dealing with erectile dysfunction?
Try some of that VA Viagra.
Hey, was it good? I got asked about it the other day. Did you enjoy it?
It's all right.
Did your wife enjoy it?
Whoa. You got the VA Viagra?
I got some from a friend.
From a friend.
Yeah.
From a friend.
From a friend. Was that friend named Uncle Sam?
No.
But
I was going to say, I wouldn't trust that. It's probably got fentanyl in it.
I got some 100 milligrams. So
Oh, whoa.
I was like,
yeah.
I was like, let's party tonight.
Damn. Maybe need to change it from chubby boy magic to big boy magic. Big boy magic.
The same friend was like, I can get you hooked up. I'm like, I don't know if my wife's ready for that yet. And he was like, doesn't matter. You're going to be
I mean, why are you worried about her?
That needs to be the name of this. That needs to be the name of this episode. Big Boy Magic.
Gonna go ahead and text it to What was the one that fucking Devin was talking about? The PIFA?
What?
Priya.
Priya.
Oh,
Priya. He was talking about.
Prison rape.
I was like, so I start. Okay, so usually we're like 2 hours, 30 minutes into this, but like we usually do about this long of an episode. And our buddy, we go down to Dallas and we're recording with him. He's like, how long do you guys usually do? We're like 2 hours. He's like, we usually do 4 hours. And we're like, all right.
No, he said 4 to 6.
damn.
Oh, full business day with this
Yeah,
motherfucker.
yeah.
Shout out to Devin.
We're
Damn,
like,
I need to check after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
Shit.
big boy magic. So we're we're sitting there talking, and he's like, we hit hour 3, we're all hanging out. We're like, I'm like, because at 2 hours, we're like, all right, let's wrap this up. We'll do this next time. He's like, nope, we're gonna keep going. And then how long did we get? Like, was it 3 hours and 30 minutes in when we got to Priya?
Maybe around there, 3:30, 3:40.
And that's probably the funniest part of that entire goddamn
Priya?
episode. Yeah. And I was like, dude, and it's the amount of people that have to hold out to get to Priya.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to edit it down into a clip. But god damn it, Priya was so funny. And I'm texting him like, Priya. Got it. Big boy magic. There you go. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
No, man. I'm just chilling, man. Vibing.
Yeah. I was just like, I got to go pee again. So, it's about time for the episode to end now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good podcast, man.
Yeah.
There may be a
I have to come back.
Gentleman's Collective Chubby Boy collab.
Yeah, we
shirt,
definitely got to do
now-
that.
shirt
Okay.
collab coming out.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
So, just so people do know, so how many shirts have you done shirts for a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
You mean how many different ones?
Yeah.
There's probably like 4 or 5.
And then I have a couple of people that have asked us. We have a shirt guy that we've worked with locally. Do you send yours off and have them screen printed, and are you doing it in house?
Yeah,
we
I'm
talked
doing-
about this a long time ago.
Yeah. I'm doing it in house, but I'm currently looking at like maybe doing a drop shipper.
Okay.
That way it's easier for me.
Yeah.
And I
And
don't have
then-
to worry about it.
Just so other people have asked, like we do a run of 50. So how's your basis of that going for it?
Man, I just do on demand, honestly.
Okay.
So like if I get an order of 10 today, I'll just
Right.
do 10 and send them out.
Okay.
If I get an order of 1, 2, I'll do 2 and send them out, you
Okay.
know? And that's why I want to do the drop ship.
Yeah.
That way the order just comes
Yeah.
in.
That
and-
the guy we were working with was trying to get it into that where it's like
just
you
drop
just
ship.
order them through the website
Yeah.
and it like everything goes through and then it drop ships out. It's like, I know that makes a lot of sense because we
Yeah.
were talking about like people out want to order them instead of going through like give us money. Like,
Yeah. Like we
He
have
was
the
like,
shirts
we-
over here, but like I also like to know like, oh, but it's also helpful if someone's like, oh, I want to buy a t-shirt from you right now.
Right. Yeah.
So-
I'll do, like I said, it's just however it comes about.
So you have all the screen printing shit at your house?
Yeah, I do. It depends on how big. If it's small run, then I'll do the vinyl.
Okay.
I'll do the
The-
vinyl print.
Yeah.
Like DTF and all that stuff.
Yeah. Right now I have everything on pause because I'm doing some new designs and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And when I drop the next release, and then we'll roll it out, and then
Yeah.
we'll be good to go. So that's at the Gents Collective across all the socials. So.
Okay.
.com.
.com.
Yeah, the Gents
Yep.
Collective. Okay.
Yep.
And yeah, man. I'm looking forward to that collab though.
Dude,
That-
I
that
think we
should've
need
been-
it.
We're getting
We're gonna
tattoos.
talk.
Oh, I'm definitely getting that.
I think that would be
Mason,
cool.
listen, this podcast is proof. I'm gonna get with Mason,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna get that tattoo.
No, weird.
We're gonna get that
Oh,
tattoo.
Weird.
oh,
No, it's not a singular thing.
okay.
Like,
I like it. He's gonna love that.
What happens is this is my first tattoo.
Yeah.
yeah, and
You know what's gonna happen is like the
We're
next
gonna
week
get it
you're
on
gonna be
your
like, I don't want to do the podcast anymore. I fucking hate you.
you can get it.
It's gonna be great for me because I'm like, oh, it's when those assholes made the podcast and they decided not to do it anymore.
I own this brand, by the way. Now, like, wouldn't that be aggressively how you take over podcasts? Like, by the
Right.
way, I got it tattooed on me, and I own
Yeah.
the brand now.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing over there? You're just texting? This is bad for video.
What?
I was pulling up my socials, making sure I got everything
no,
right.
No, that's what I was.
Yeah, no, I'm
I
fucking
was
with you. I'm-
typing in the
I'm
Gents
fucking- I'm
Collectives.
fucking
Make
with
sure I
you.
don't forget it.
Fucking with you. That was one of my buddies that does a video podcast. He's like, you gotta put your phone away because like, we're almost wrapped up. But he's like, yeah, because like he does live streaming for Twitch, I think, and he was like, I one day for like 30 minutes was texting with my girlfriend, not paying attention to the call.
Right,
and
right.
everyone's fucking hitting him up, and he's like,
Oh, Twitch is way different.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of that's live.
And he was like, "Oh, my bad. I guess I'll go play this video game now." I was like, "What the fuck?" I have no idea how that works. So, okay, Undrell, where can Mr. Ghost? Where can they find you at? Once again,
Slab King Ghost.
got it. And Gents Collective
Across all social.
Here, let me.
He's like,
I'm just pulling this up. Yep, Slab King Ghost.
okay. Or out in person, if they see you, your approach. Well, that is one of my favorite things about you, though, is I do tell people, like, I was like, he used to work at Cycle Gear. Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk to him. Dude, he is the nicest guy. Go up and say hello.
Yeah.
And, like, tell him I said hello, or, like, tell him Cody, or tell him Squirrel.
Right.
Just say hello to him.
Yeah.
And, like, super fucking nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the way to be, man.
Yeah.
And then go check us out. Chubby Boy Magic 405.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Instagram,
about that.
Facebook.
Yep.
And then where can they find you?
I am at cdtokc.com. No, wait, not .com for that one. cdtokc.
Yep.
Or if you're a nice looking lady, you can find them at the Cooter Scooter.
No, if you're a nice looking lady, you're going to get a ride.
On the
On the Cooter Scooter.
That has over the license plate "Gays for Biker Jesus."
And then you can find me on Instagram at moppandphoto.
.com.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. That's not how that works. Yeah,
He takes the
I mean,
photos
I
for
do
Cooter
have
Scooter.
I actually do have the moppandphoto.com, but
yeah,
it's,
mine's
it's-
technically CodyThompsonPhotos.com, but
Yeah.
I don't.
Mine's closed down right now.
Yeah, I don't know if my fucking GoDaddy's actually paid up.
I don't know. I don't remember my GoDaddy password, so I can't
Oh,
get
shit.
into it.
Yeah.
And I called the customer service, and they were like, "Thank you. Can I help you?" And I was like,
Oh.
So my email that I used to get that with, I don't have anymore, and I need to get it switched to my new email so I can log in.
My checkings
And
and
they
my
were-
savings account.
They
are
were
different.
like,
And they were like,
"Thank you. Come again."
yeah.
they were like, I help you, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, "I
Steve.
send you an email," and I never got an email. And I'm
Mr.
like,
Steve. Mr. Steve.
"Okay,
Yeah,
do I
Mr.
wanna-
Steve.
do I want to call? Do I want to call back?" And I'm
No.
like, "No."
I'm good,
Yep.
man. Yeah, just say, I'm like, I'm good. Never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll start a new account.
I'm like, one day
Yeah.
I'll figure it out one day.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it was great having you on. Thank you very much. And
Yeah, man. It was fun.
outro music. Boop, 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 boop. It's still going. We're still live.
Oh, are we?
Fuck
Oh,
you.
earthquake!
The porn jam, man.